This is a team formed by the pros themselves. However, it is this team that is not favored. Actually got the #1 seed position in the Asian Cup. As the winning side, Coach Ruayu expressed his expectations for the Asian Cup on stage. In addition, we are the Horse King team. Any strong coaches and players are welcome to join. 24-hour standby. We look forward to welcoming all the elites. However, Li Yuyang's face in the audience suddenly became serious. Ma Dongsheng, that old guy will definitely not give up easily. As the so-called old man is a thief. That's what he's talking about. As Li Yuyang expected, Ma Dongsheng has convened the top management of the game association. Is there a way to directly disqualify the Horse King team? Do you just watch them show off their might? Hear this. Xiao Quack wiped his cold sweat with a weak heart. What the other party said. Also a championship team. If there is no suitable reason, there's no way to change the ending. Smack. Ma Dongsheng snorted. I mean, you get to the point. The right reason is, of course, the battle for qualification. Only 3 members of the Horse King team played a role. As for the other 2, they didn't show up at all. Therapist Ian Jing. Archer Dirk Cat. The 2 of them may just be messing around. So in order to maintain the credibility of the national team, I propose to re-examine their qualifications. Right now, Ruayu's remarks have ended. However, the lights in the venue suddenly went out. The audience was all stunned. A burst of cheers followed. Could it be that the organizers have prepared other surprises? The big screen lit up again, and a piercing light shone brightly. Meanwhile, the game's top brass also agreed to the plan. We can admit the strength of Ma Dongwang Lu Shuriwe and Mari Tian, but because I have to represent the country, so they had to rule out the other 2. Players with no professional experience. Just when this group of old guys was plotting a conspiracy, a little quack suddenly entered the conference room. There were some surprises at President Ma's award ceremony. I think you'd better go and see for yourself. Meanwhile, the light has returned to the venue, and a video is playing on the big screen. Sky Island before the cataclysm. This is the last habitat of the angels. Then came the battle between the angels and the monsters, and the angel emperor. There is also the boss hidden at the end. Of course, there is a Dirk Cat in the picture. There is also the Archangel Ian Jing. This video reveals the exact process of the cataclysm. The audience froze in place, especially the part where Ian Jing became an angel. It can simply brighten the eyes of the little quacks. Ruayu stared helplessly at the screen. King Ma, what are you doing? Does it really work? Just the day before the game. Ruayu is also the first time to get this video material. Why it should be played at the awards ceremony? Are you crazy? Hear this. Li Yuyang lowered his head helplessly. If we qualify for the Asian Cup, Ma Dongsheng will definitely play tricks behind his back. I'm not sure he'll do that. But just to prevent it from happening, let's start first. Bet on all the loopholes. Just show everyone the strength of Dirk Cat and Ian Jing. They can't use that excuse against them. Li Yuyang's words were too advanced. Ruayu was stunned directly in place when he heard it. Because at this point in time, the rules of esports are not perfect. Ma Dongsheng also took advantage of the loopholes in the rules. Can target other teams again and again. But as a person who has come over, Li Yuyang is very aware of those miscellaneous routines. As soon as the video is announced, Dirk Cat and Ian Jing can gain a lot of popularity. At that time, Ma Dongsheng will not be able to use weak and other excuses. It's time to target Dirk Cat and Ian Quiet. Rumbling sounds kept coming from inside the speakers. The video has been carried out to the last step. The moment when the S+ monster appeared, the audience was in an uproar. The monster of the S+ level actually exists. The average player has never even seen an S-class monster. Not to mention this more advanced guy. It's so handsome. Whether it's for operation or equipment, Dirk Cat is absolutely superb. There is also the Archangel form in the Ian realm. No amount of assistance can be compared. Ian mirror at the moment. The audience was dumbfounded. There are even people who doubt the authenticity of the video. Until the King of Horses appeared, everyone kept their mouths shut. King Ma Dong symbolizes the supreme God's authority. In the gaming world, he is synonymous with God. Until the Isle of Sky falls, the whole video is over. The real process of the cataclysm. It was also completely revealed by this video. Ma Dongxing's back molars are about to be crushed. Who predicted my prediction in advance? Until his gaze was locked on the captain of the Horse King team. Could it be that this young man is King Ma Dong himself? Li Yuyang's actions completely detonated the entire game scene. Even LGBT TV stations are in a panic. The video of Sky Island is definitely the most explosive hotspot of the year. Meanwhile, footage of Sky Island by Supreme God Games. It's also playing on the big screen. Members of the law enforcement team. Male head of the business department of the game company. He was staring at King Ma Dong's back with anger on his face. And former Mad Dog Captain Kim Jin-so. This woman has always been known for her madness. Was also completely shocked by Li Yuyang's behavior. For a task, sink the whole island. It was something he had never imagined. Inside a secret factory, Jodia sits on a humanoid concrete. He was staring at the computer screen in confusion. Logically speaking, the person who activated Cataclysm should be an old bird. He's the man with the highest level of game completion. But why does it appear in the picture as King Ma Dong? And Dirk Cat and Einjing should also be teammates of the old bird. Until this moment, Jodia finally confirmed a piece of information. King Ma Dong and Lao Niao turned out to be the same person. Everything can be explained in this way. The light of the archangels is shining in all directions. Watch yourself appear on the screen. Ian's face flushed. He doesn't have Li Yuyang's cheeky skills. In retrospect, though, Li Yuyang may have been planning today's events for a long time. Just one day before Sky City fell, Li Yuyang specially found the best shooting position. In fact, Li Yuyang didn't want to release the video so soon. He originally wanted to keep this thing until the Asian Cup. Now, in order to keep Dirk Cat and Ian Jing qualified, it can only be announced in advance. As the video keeps spreading, there has also been tremendous feedback on the web. Players from all over the world are showing their support for the Horse King team. Even with Ma Dongxing's energy, it can't stop the speed of the video. A crunch came from the old thing's mouth. Ma Dongxing, this is the first time I feel like I'm being led by the nose. And it's a little thing that's 20 years old. Right now, Li Yuyang suddenly turned his head. He saw Ma Dongye, who was about to leave not far away. Anyway, everything is ready. Now it's time to deal with Pony King. Inside the stadium corridor, Ma Dongye stared at Li Yuyang behind him suspiciously. Do you have anything to do with me? Li Yuyang's face was calm. Staring into Ma Dongye's eyes, he said, I actually admire you. The reason why you're going to lose this time, it's because I specially gave Ma Ritian targeted training. Hear these words. Ma Dong was so angry at night that his muscles burst out. If you want to show off. So let's stop there. I don't have time to play around with you. However, Li Yuyang's next sentence directly made Ma Dongxing stop. The last fight match that will transform you into the gaming world. You signed up for it. It's still the coach who forced you. That was the game that caused Ma Dongye to injure his left arm. I had to move to the game industry as a last resort. Grab Li Yuyang's collar violently. Ma Dongye has fallen into a rage. I don't know what you want to do, but without my permission, just investigate me privately. Don't you think it's rude? In fact, Li Yuyang is not sure of the original truth. In a past life, he only saw some news reports. Of course, it depends on the reaction of the Horse Winter Night. Li Yuyang can already confirm his conjecture. I know what I'm saying now may be absurd, but trust me. Now this game clan will push you into the abyss little by little. It's the same as when you did boxing. Took advantage of the horse's stunned kung fu on a winter night. Li Yuyang directly said his thoughts. Join my team. This is the best place for you. Hear this. Ma Dongye was completely stunned. Just finish the game. You can't wait to dig me. Is your team so short of people? Li Yuyang smiled slightly. Don't get me wrong. I just admire you. Release your palm. Ma Dongye was silent for a moment. Directly rejected Li Yuyang's proposal. The world calls me the Pony King. I don't want to live in your shadow forever. That's why I refuse to be on a team with you. And you remembered it for Lao Tzu. One day I will beat you openly. Reclaim the name of King Madong. After speaking, Ma Dongye turned his head and left. Didn't give Li Yuyang a chance to continue to keep it all. He shook his head helplessly. Li Yuyang only felt extremely regretful. If you can subdue all the 2 horses in your previous life, then Lao Tzu got the absolute cool script. It's a shame. Start today. No one dared to mention the name of the rookie team again. Team Horse King has managed to become a truly top team as well. Udode Strip. This is the area near the Novice Tower. It has become the area where players gather the most. As everyone knows, hidden beneath Utoes is a powerful copy. Flames filled this subterranean space. Endless explosions. Completely covers the entire screen. Dirk panted heavily. This guy has been outputting for so long. Why don't you see the boss lose blood? Could it be that this is an unbeatable copy? After the end of the tryouts, Li Yuyang led his teammates to find one of the 7 Demon Kings. Name, Mammon. Grade S+. This guy's strength is simply terrifying. As one of the top bosses of the entire Supreme God, even the strength of the Isathians today is still fragile. Weapon durability is depleted. Dirk Cat has no ability to continue outing. Einjing is also in an empty blue state. You can't even cast healing spells. I think it's time for us to use a new item. Otherwise, we'll all have to die here this time. Right now, the old bird is starting to live again. Before that, I think it's time to motivate you. In the puzzled expressions of Einjing and Dirk Cat, Li Yuyang turned his head confidently. After listening, you can definitely toughen this boss. Because if we fail this time, then our team is going to go bankrupt. Hear this. Dirk Cat and Einjing were both stunned. They know every word of this sentence. But I don't understand it together. What is called a failed strategy to go bankrupt? There was a loud bang. The explosion drowned out the voices of the crowd. Flaming hammers descend from the sky. The ferocious boss unleashes the deadliest blow. In the midst of a violent earthquake, the trio hurriedly dodged. What the hell do you mean by meowing, boy? Why do we have to go bankrupt if we fail? It turned out to be before the boss battle began. Li Yuyang rented the best villa of the entire Supreme God. And there was a coin-throwing party. Name implies. Whoever participates in the party will be rewarded with gold coins. And it's also a reward of gold coins that fell from the sky. This behavior completely detonated the entire gaming circle. As a result, Li Yuyang has become the most well-known million-level coin blogger. Hear that? Ian almost burst into tears. This is a wealth that we have accumulated for a long time. Are you sure you're not kidding? In fact, Li Yuyang was also very helpless. To get a ticket to the dungeon, you're going to have to throw coins like crazy. Then trigger a specific task. Only by obtaining that side quest can you open the quest entrance. Hear this. Dirk finally came to his senses. That said, you're not kidding. If we really fail, the Horse King team lost its operating funds. On the subject, Li Yuyang did not answer. Instead, humans and animals smiled harmlessly. Theoretically, you're right. The next second the whole set emitted a buzz. Einjing's violence value has reached its maximum. Attention everyone. The boss's hammer is coming. With a bang, a giant hammer slammed into the ground again. Mangad soared into the air. The 3 were out of the blast as fast as they could. That's right, for this boss. I mortgaged my house and studio as well. Therefore, if you don't succeed, you will become a benevolent. Let's work hard. Let's kill this boss. I have to say, Li Yuyang's hand is really beautiful. Rise from the ashes. Sure enough, cutting off the back road is the best chicken blood. Right now, there was a roar from below. The boss has gone berserk. This guy's defense and HP are simply perverted level old birds. If you kid can use it quickly, kid. As soon as the words fell, the boss has already risen to the sky. Is it life or death? It's up to this wave. A week later, the Asian Cup is about to begin. Team members from various countries are also coming to the host city one after another. In the hotel where the players are hosted, a little rattling mouth is almost grinning to the base of the ear. This guy is the lobby manager of the hotel. Because I was greeted in advance by some team managers. He waited here exclusively. It's just to tell the weaker teams. The Asian Cup is not something that everyone can participate in. To stay comfortably, there is no human matter. Customers can't. Right now, a special couple of guests were welcomed to the hotel. This is the famous Horse King team, a dark horse team that has qualified to win the championship. Li Yuyang and his teammates just walked into the hotel. It was greeted with a friendly reminder from the lobby manager. Excuse me. Dear customers, our rooms here are fully booked. Please go and have a look at other places. As everyone knows, this is the routine that Xiao Jie has always had. As long as these teams don't want to go to other hotels in a hurry, you have to give him some benefits. But this time he's probably going to kick the steel plate. Because behind the King of Horses, a brand new statue says it all. Little Gaga, too, saw this scene. He couldn't say a word in shock. If you remember correctly, this image is King Ma Dong, and the person wearing the mask in front of him. That is, what is going on with King Ma Dong himself? Just when Little Quack was confused, a kind voice came from behind him. Dear King of Horses, welcome to our hotel. I am the general manager of the hotel. Just when Xiao Gaga's heart still wants to continue talking nonsense, the person in charge of the hotel has already punched out. I'm very sorry. I'm sorry for the trouble. Statue at the doorway. It's all about celebrating the boss. Specially built to successfully enter the Asian Cup. That's right. Jimmy, the lobby manager. Let me introduce you to it. This is the new owner of our hotel, King Ma Dong, Mr. Ma. Li Yuyang couldn't have imagined it. The Asian Cup is about to be held. As one of the participating teams, Ma Wang had already started the layout months in advance. Introduced by the general manager, the identity of Ma Wang's chairman was revealed, but Xiao Gaga still unwilling to admit it. So the general manager violently dragged him out of the door. If the eyes are not blind, just look up. Follow the gaze of Little Gaga. The three words Ma Dongwang appear on the plaque. See clearly. This is Mr. Ma's property. If you don't want to do it, quit immediately. Lao Tzu will give you approval now. Ignoring the commotion outside the door, Li Yuyang took Ian into the room and walked towards the room. In fact, in order to prevent Ma Dongsheng, Li Yuyang made a lot of preparations. And the reason why Li Yuyang was able to do this step, thanks to the previous copy, as the first player to raid Ma Meng, your name has been recorded. As Mammon's body was reduced to pieces, it's time for the rewards too. After all, so many gold coins were invested. If you can't get it back, then this trip will be a big loss. Right now, a prompt pops up. According to the contribution, all three of them got their share of the reward. But look at the numbers that keep jumping in the inventory. Yanqing and Dirk Cat still couldn't help but open their mouths wide. Only Li Yuyang calmly lifted the corners of his mouth. 71 million. 72 million. The amount of gold in the warehouse is still rising. Up to 174 million. The numbers finally stopped beating. Converted to today's gold price, the total value of these coins has reached about 80 million. That's a lot of money. However, Li Yuyang shook his head calmly. You're wrong. If you add all three of us together, the total value is around 1.5 billion. In other words, Li Yuyang invested 100 million to buy a ticket. Then after clearing customs, they made a total of 1.5 billion. Just 2.5 hours. They have multiplied the total assets of the Horse King team by 15 times. Inside the Mong Hotel, Lu Shiyue came to the hall excitedly. Lu Yanran and Lu Hong are supernumerary personnel. It has also come to the venue of the Asian Cup. The two sisters hugged each other excitedly. This Asian Cup has allowed them to complete the off-site tour. However, in order to keep the players in the best shape, Li Yuyang doesn't care about the extra money. In order not to delay training, Lu Yanran and Lu Hong were ready to leave here first. Wait until it's time to go back and do the hard work. I said hello to Lu Shiyue. Lu Yanran handed over a document bag. What is contained here is a message from Lu Yanran's friend. Ma Dongsheng, that guy's going to pour dirty water on the Ma Wang team on the internet. Although the 1T1 team lost the qualification to participate in the competition. But it is clear that Ma Dongsheng, that old thing, does not intend to give up. So Lu Yanran wants to give the security boss Lu Hong a wake-up call. It is precisely because of a few of them who cleared the copy of Mammon. There is no crisis in terms of funding. That's why Ma Dongsheng will save the country. Prepare to engage in some public opinion on the internet. But it doesn't matter. As long as the King of Horses team wins the Asian Cup, these plots of his will not be fruitful. Lu Hong is very confident in this. It's not just him. The same goes for Lu Yanran. King Ma Dong is a man who keeps creating miracles. How could he possibly lose? Meanwhile, in the conference room, Ryu took out the official rules of the event. There are a total of 12 participating countries in the Asian Cup. The first is the familiar Battle Royale mode. 3 countries as a group. Only one team can win. The 4 winning teams will advance to the semifinals. The winner advances to the finals. The winner will be decided by the last 2 teams. And the draw is over. They were placed in Team J and Team H. These are 2 teams known as the top 4 teams in Asia. They are very strong, so we have to be in good spirits for this battle. I wanted to win. There really is no need to fight. After hearing Ryu's words, Li Yuyang fell into deep thought. In the memories of his past life, Team J and Team H are both very strong teams. Their players are also top-notch. And in the last Asian Cup, Team C didn't even make it to the semifinals. He was sent home, and this order of appearance is said to have some insider information in it. But Li Yuyang didn't care at all. With memories of a past life, he is well aware of the fighting style and hidden hole cards of the other teams. So, for Li Yuyang, in the first game, they were able to eliminate 2 strong opponents who won the championship. That's a good thing. Looked at Li Yuyang's aroused fighting spirit. Ryu smiled like an ant. Worthy of the old bird. This mentality is strong. In terms of tactics, Ryu has already decided on her own course. Winning is not the end goal. Minimal exposure in the early stages can be our ultimate goal. So I developed special tactics. It's called bloodless victory. Hear this. Dirk Mao was stunned. You don't want to bleed if you want to win. It's simply impossible. However, the core figure of Ryu's tactics is Ein Jing. Only he can guarantee the success of this plan. The Most High God. The opening ceremony of the first Asian Cup officially began, with the lights flickering constantly. The entire arena was filled with cheers. The Most High God is the most popular virtual reality game in the world. Its audience has even surpassed the LOL at its peak. The first round. The team that wins in Battle Royale mode advances to the Final 4. It was also the most crucial game. Let's welcome the Horse King team. They were formed by the legendary player Ma Dongwang. Keep an eye on this contingent of school children and people with disabilities. The players from other countries couldn't help but show contempt. It's really a wonderful team. Are they nobody? As the players entered the arena one after another, Battle Royale maps start to generate randomly. The screen keeps flickering. Eventually, they stopped in a rainforest. The narrator stood up in shock. Even Ryu couldn't help but widen his eyes. The luck of this group of players is so bad, because they drew the western jungle, known as the Forest of Hell. It's hard to just live here. not to mention high-intensity battles with opponents. Li Yuyang also shook his head helplessly. Lu Shuriwei was full of doubts. What's wrong with this map? Why are they so surprised? Dirk Cat reluctantly explained. The rainforest environment is complex. In Battle Royale, it is known as the Hell mode. Reluctantly put on the game device. Li Yuyang sighed helplessly. It's really interesting. Is this trying to make me kill a little slower? The game has officially begun. All players are randomly generated in the map. And on the edge of the rainforest, there's an area full of strange rocks. And between the stones, a figure was moving rapidly. He is the favorite to win the championship, Ma Dongwang. Breaking the air. In the woods, it was rumored that King Ma Dong's movement speed was full of him. Move quickly towards the center of the forest. Logically speaking, fighting in the rainforest limits eddies and earthquakes. However, all this is only for ordinary people. Take Li Yuyang's knowledge of this map. It's really great for ranged sniper and assassin players. But that doesn't mean they're the only ones who can benefit. The humid environment limits the burst of flames. The complex environment provides more room to hide. If you really hit it head-on, it is indeed not good for Li Yuyang. However, if you take a different strategy, for example, dribbling into the hole, this move does not need to take into account the combat implications. Kick under your feet. Li Yuyang's whole body flew into the air. Bang! The ground exploded. Li Yuyang raised his head with a smile. Finally found the original box hidden here. One of the victory conditions of the Battle Royale. This is to move the chest to the center of the map. Unfortunately, anyone who has seen the old bird knows it. What Li Yuyang is best at is violent demolition. In a calm valley, Ian smiled happily. And Lu Shile on the other side was also very happy. The two little sisters were the first to meet in the team. Their luck is indeed good. It was encountered in such a complicated area. Anyway, how is our plan being executed? According to Li Yuyang, at the beginning of the game, you have to run towards the place where there is a sound. Wherever the noise is loud, run wherever it goes. However, there are too many restrictions in the map. They don't have the powerful cleaning ability of King Ma Dong. So in order to be able to achieve the goal as quickly as possible, Lu Shuriwei can only incarnate as a sickle team. Help Ein Jing clear a smooth path for this assistant. But at the moment of seeing the scythe, Ein Jing still thought back to that cute pumpkin man. I have to say, Oz copy without Jack. They may not have any hope of winning. Just as the two were talking, an indifferent voice suddenly came from behind him. I'm sorry to bother you. It's a member of the Horse King team. If you remember correctly, an auxiliary and a fighter who has just come of age. You're really out of luck. Why don't you know how to hide yourself? Voices are heard. Lu Xiyu hurriedly turned her head. Ein Jing recognized the identities of the three little Gagas for the first time. One of the main players of Team J. It's different from Ein Jing's nervousness. Little Quack looked unusually relaxed. Auxiliaries and schoolchildren get lost. Isn't that like looking for death? Anyway, do you want to get rid of them right away? Hear this. Lu Shuriwei had already clenched the sickle. He hates being called a schoolboy the most. A humming sound resounded with a blinding glow on the scythe. Flashes on the ground. Seeing that Lu Xiyu has entered the battle form, Little Quack laughed even louder. It's really interesting. Are children so grumpy these days? Ian hurriedly opened his mouth to persuade. Let's get out of here. There's no part of the plan to fight. But what makes Wyan Mirror strange is that. How did the members of Team J get together so quickly? How exactly they did it? Meanwhile, Dirk Cat and Ma Ritien also showed puzzled expressions. This group of H-Squad guys converged really quickly. Fists clenched violently. The hoplite smiled cruelly. He used to be one of the contestants in the underground arena. It was Li Yuyang's hammer that he lost tens of thousands of bonuses. This vengeance will be upon you. However, Margitine and Dirk Cats, I have no intention of taking care of Xiao Gaga. Anyway, our captain is here. We're gonna go ahead and find King Ma Dong. Let's fight them first. Maybe our captain has already started moving boxes now. Not to mention at his speed. Maybe we'll be able to win in a few minutes. The two of them laughed as they spoke. Little Rattle's back molars almost crushed. You're really nobody. Did Lao Tzu give you face? The long knife stabbed with rapid force, as if to cut through the air. Mari Tian does not retreat, but advances. He posted it as fast as he could. The bow and crossbow are then accurately pointed. The long-range confrontation between the dirt cat and the wizard has also begun. On the other side, Lu Shiyue couldn't help it. He rushed out with his scythe. But that's it. And then something embarrassing happened. The two little quacks looked at each other helplessly. When there is only one assistant, and this assistant is still a weak little girl. Hands-on or not is already a problem. Yinjing also helplessly watched back and forth. There are two fists, though. But who will hammer first? Right now. A violent explosion suddenly sounded in the distance. Then an incomparably large tornado rose into the air. In this rainforest map, why do tornadoes occur? Before the Asian Cup League, in the pre-copy of Mammon, faced the S-Class Deathworm. Ian looked shocked. Faced this behemoth up close. Most people are at a loss. But the PV-13-person group of the King of Horses team, all his meows are not ordinary. Li Yuyang couldn't have imagined it. It turns out that the real violent equipment is hidden in the dungeon. Dirk growled. Two crossbow arrows opened the bow left and right. At the most critical moment, the arrows of the crossbow were stuck in the worm's mouth. Meanwhile, Li Yuyang also entered the field at a critical moment. He picked up Yinjing sensitively and slammed at the worm before leaving. Defeat this boss to meet Mammon. But the strength of the worm has exceeded everyone's expectations. This guy's bright face level is only S. But there is only a thin line between it and the S family. Especially the strong vitality. Even if you use the earthquake and vortex of the Horse King, there's no way to fatally damage it. Even if you are very clear about the boss's attack methods and mechanics. Li Yuyang can't guarantee that he can dodge every time. Moxa Blade's health-shedding effect. It doesn't make the worm die quickly. His recovery power is more than enough to make up for the loss of blood. Right now, the worm's body begins to rotate. See this scene? Li Yuyang's anger was also aroused. Since you want to play, I'll play with you. In the end, it's your vortex that is powerful. Or Lao Tzu's vortex is stronger. With a loud roar, Li Yuyang raised his fist and rushed out. At the same time, the death worm began to roll over and on. The tumbling speed is getting faster and faster. Two vortices begin to collide violently in the central area. I have to say, as a standard skill of King Ma Dong, the power of snails is really not weak. Dirt Cat and Yinjing can only be reduced to spectators. In this violent collision, only the stronger side will survive. The rumbling continued. Li Yuyang's whole person was in the tornado. A clicking sound came from the gloves. The King of Horses' boxing gloves couldn't hold it anymore. There was also a crack on the worm on the other side. Victory or defeat is only a matter of thought. Lao Tzu spelled. Boom. Flames and storms collide in midair. An even more violent force filled the space. Earthquakes plus eddies. Finally, let Li Yuyang take down the death worm. This brand new pair of gloves. It's made with worm blast materials. Rank S comes with an enhanced version of the skill vortex. This thing is exactly what Ma Dongwang specially prepared for the Asian Cup. With the palm of the hand pressed to the ground. Enhanced eddy current start. Endless flames filled the surface. The narrator is just about to explain the battle between the two sides. A picture suddenly came into view. The narrator is stupid. What the hell is this thing, he meows? Follow his gaze. An endless storm has loomed over the King of Horses. The flames amplify the wind. The wind was swept up into the sky again by the hot air. This is the source of the storm in Ian's eyes. It is also Li Yuyang's specialty card to end the battle royale. As long as the intensity of the storm is sufficient, then the effect of terrain on skills tends to be close to zero. At the moment when the storm was formed, Li Yuyang raised his right hand high. The golden gloves began to glow. Mammon's golden right hand is forged from a shard of Mammon's hammer. Grade S+. Comes with the skill Earthquake base damage of 20,000 plus. The golden hammer is in the hands of Mammon. However, it can cause the effect of moving mountains and reclamation. Li Yuyang's requirements are not high, as long as you can hit 1/10 of the effect. Boom! The fist was pressed to the ground. Earthquakes unleashed. The right hand suddenly expands into an illusory palm. Top on the side of the cabinet. The next second, it was like a cannonball. The box flew out at a speed of 300 yards. It doesn't matter if it's a stone or a branch. The chest can be dispersed with great kinetic energy. And just punch after punch. Boxes that cannot be damaged. In the hands of Li Yuyang, it has completely become a real toy. Oversized movements. Team H stopped attacking. Take advantage of this opportunity. Maritian turned around and gave a look. Dirk nodded slightly. The two seemed to have discussed it a long time ago. Chi-Chi ran in the direction of the explosion. It is impossible to fight. You won't win by fighting in this life. Just when the Dirk cat and the horse fled without a fight. On the other side, Lu Shiyu hugged Ian Jing, also moving in the direction of the king of horses. The two little girls he meowed are too good to run. And what the hell is that guy named Ma Dongwang doing? The location of the chest is getting closer and closer to the center of the map. And Li Yuyang chose a closest distance. Just continue to push the box in this direction. This match will end in the hands of the Horse King team. The fighting is becoming more and more tense. The audience began to cheer, especially Lu Yinran's foreign aid group. They're literally flying. Royu's expression also became solemn. Victory or defeat is only in this moment. No matter how many enemies there are, King Ma Dong can always find the fastest way to win. The last punch is still 300 meters away. But King Ma Dong suddenly stopped. Lu Yinran was stupid. The commentators are also stupid. Why did the King of Horses put his fist against the box? I haven't seen any movement for a long time. The most central area of the battle royale. The box is parked less than 5 meters outside the center circle. This distance is not even a blue amount. By physical strength alone, King Ma Dong can also push the chest in. But this kid made a decision that went against his ancestors. He actually stopped. The audience also became silent because of Li Yuyang's decision. How exactly is this game going to develop? It depends on what Li Yuyang wants to do. Right now, footsteps came from behind him. Lu Shirua hugged Ian Jing. Dirk and Maritian have all rushed over. They are followed by Team H and Team G. But this result is exactly what King Ma Dong wants. If you want to play, you have to have a good time. No bloodshed. The tactics are indeed the easiest, but not a fight. How can you be worthy of your ticket money? All 5 of them huddled together. The next step is the smoke goggle show. I saw him pick up the worm cloak. Covered all 5 of them. The cloak has a peekaboo passive. It can minimize the player's presence. So in the H squad rush to the time, Li Yuyang's 5 people have disappeared. Meanwhile, members of Team H from the other direction also chased after them. They happened to bump into each other. 5 on 5. That's fair, since it's a battle royale. Except for teammates. Nature is all enemies. Cold sweat ran down Xiao Quack's face. She always felt like someone was peeking at them. I have to say, the little quacky man's 7th sense is very accurate. Li Yuyang and the others didn't leave too far at all. They're cloaked and waiting for the battle of the 2 wolves. The development of the competition has exceeded Li Yuyang's expectations. At first, he also wanted to cause a fight between the 2 sides. But I can't think of it. The group of guys came together so quickly. and I happen to be lured by my teammates. I have to say that who can understand the pleasure of being the sixth child? The box is close at hand. There can only be one winner of the competition. So the people of both teams are coveting the boxes on the side. But no one dared to sweat first. Running down Little Quack's face. His eyes were blazing on the circle in the center. Who's going to push the box in? Whoever gets a ticket to the semifinals will get a ticket to the top four. It's in this tense atmosphere. Moment. The stones suddenly fell to the ground. The slight sound elicited a stress response on both sides. Little Gaga, without saying a word, immediately launched an attack. Just listen to the bang. The knives and spears collided together. Since there is no possibility of a win-win situation, then let's just let it go. Whoever wins will enter the semifinals. That's fair. As Little Quack's voice fell, the spear began to spin continuously. The harsh metal collided and vibrated constantly. Feel the power coming from your abdomen. The reloaded Little Quack grinned. Do you really think Lao Tzu can't beat you? The long knife swept in. The powerful force slashed directly at Xiao Quack. Suddenly there was a pain behind him. A small quack who can move forward actually launched a sneak attack from behind. This behavior is shameless though. But it works. Learn to make Little Quack's mouth almost crooked. But the next second, a huge black shadow fell from the sky. Just listen to the boom. He was smashed into the ground. The huge mecha stomped hard. It's the rhythm that is going to take the Little Quack away in waves. The next second, the magic skill starts to charge. Little Quack's body was suddenly squeezed. But he didn't wait for the magician to continue casting spells. A mallet slammed into the top of his head. Leap up. Orc martial artists also joined the fray. At this moment, the 5v5 melee has completely begun. Both sides are no longer holding back. They've all shown their real skills. Victory is at hand. Think again. King Ma Dong is redundant. Spears and knives. Mecha Sharp Thorn as the Asian Cup player. The quality of both teams is at the top of their game. With a bang, artillery smashed into the crowd. This scene of hot and cold weapons fighting each other in turns. The 5 people who saw the melon were stunned. Anyway, the stone at the beginning was thrown by your kid. As time goes by, the explosions in the stadium are getting quieter and quieter. There was a Little Quack that was hung on a tree, and Little Quack fell to the ground. No doubt, it's a hardy battle. In the end, the only ones who were able to stand were the captains of both teams. They serve as the central figures of the entire team. I have to say, there are indeed 2 brushes. Roar. The final showdown is just around the corner. With a roar, the moment when the spear and the knife were about to collide, the King of Horses suddenly stepped out. This scene completely dumbfounded the two. Praying mantis catches cicadas. The yellow finch is behind. You're a sinister kid. However, the voice just fell. A scene that made the 2 vomit blood appeared. I saw that the King of Horses ignored the 2 people who were bloodied. Walked straight to the box. Excuse me. There were just too many people. I'm embarrassed to say. Actually, I pushed this thing in the first place. I really don't know what you 2 are grabbing. In this tense atmosphere, Ma Dongwang's laughter was unusually harsh. The 2 of you keep playing. Wait until you've had enough. I'll finish the game again. Hear this. Little Quack's face became distorted. They were carried away by the victory that was close at hand. The moment the damn dog thing yelled, the 2 of them launched an attack on King Ma Dong in unison. Seeing that spears and knives had come to him, King Ma Dong's laughter became louder. Don't you know? The land in the heart is actually harder than in other places. It's also stronger. So enjoy the real earthquake. The palm of the hand is pressed against the ground. In a flash, the whole land was torn up. The earthquake power of the enhanced version has been raised a notch. The force of the rage caused Little Quack to lose control of his body. Both of them flew into the air. A fear of domination came back to my heart. Back then, Xiao Jie and King Ma Dong played an underground black match. I can't think of a year later. He is still so weak in the hands of King Madong. A clicking sound sounded in his body. Little Quack's armor is cracking inch by inch. Right now, the sound of breaking the air was heard again. King Ma Dong raised his fist high. Vortices unleash raging storms, soaring into the sky. In the face of this force, the bodies of the two little quacks flew higher. There is no ability to resist at all. The cheers were heard. The narrator raised his hands excitedly. Kill two pros in one hit. Ma Dong Wong bullishly ended the fight. The box rumbled again. The next second, the center of the ground shimmered. The conditions are met. Winner. The Horse King team would like to offer our best wishes. Congratulations to the King of Horses team for temporarily winning the first place in points. As for the eliminated H and J teams, they still have a chance to fight Royale, and the score value is temporary. These two teams are outstanding if they do well in the playoffs. They also have the opportunity to compete with the Horse King team, provided, of course, that their mentality doesn't explode. Li Yuyang never imagined that he was so close to a madman. The game is over. Everyone from the Ma Wong team came to the food court. The first race was won with ease, so everyone's mood is also very relaxed. Dirk smiled slightly. Speaking of which, this is the first time we've gone shopping together. Is this considered an offline meeting with netizens? And we're going to be busy in the next few days, so let's relax together today. As Dirk's voice fell, the first of the two little fingers to raise their hand. Of course, agreeing with Li Yuyang will not discourage everyone's interest. The thud kept banging. Dirk Cat hits the doll on the stage accurately. With this kid's shooting talent, hitting this kind of toy gun is naturally handy. Meanwhile, Li Yuyang glanced at his surroundings. He was thinking about the memories of his past life. Follow the original timeline. Country H should win this battle royale. Then he entered the playoffs with a first place. Li Yuyang not only changed the result, even the players on Team C and Team J have changed. Just when Li Yuyang was thinking, the surroundings suddenly became noisy. Right now, a cold voice came from behind him. Should I call you King Ma Dong or an old bird? Hear the voice. Li Yuyang was stunned for a moment. The corners of his mouth lifted slightly. Jodia clinged closely behind Li Yuyang. Don't move. My friend, believe me. As long as you cooperate, I won't hurt you. Between words, the sharp knife in his hand pushed forward again. Icy touch made Li Yuyang bow his head slightly. That's right. I think we need to have a good talk. Actually, I'm the same kind of person as you. Hear this. Li Yuyang almost couldn't help but scold. Jodia, this guy's a naked lunatic. Whether it's a game or a reality, he's the most dangerous kind of person. There are a lot of people on this street. If shouted loudly, ability to get help from others. Li Yuyang's mind was thinking wildly. How to deal with this situation. Damn. It's time to bring Lu Hong along. I'm actually a fan of yours too. It shouldn't be too much for fans to have a meal with idols. Also, did you also participate in the closed beta of the Supreme God? Hear this. Li Yuyang's eyes widened in shock. At the previous awards ceremony, this kid is looking for players for the closed beta. What exactly happened in the closed beta? Why is Jodia so persistent? Seeing that Li Yuyang was still standing still, Jodia's expression became even more playful. Stop struggling. Do-me a favor. I will make sure that you will be able to participate in the next competitions. Of course, if you think I don't dare to do it, you can give it a try. Jodia asked for her help. Li Yuyang was stunned. This guy's strength is terrifying. If you really want to talk about the difference, King Ma Dong is a melee hegemon. Jodia is a ranged mage. And in Li Yuyang's memory, 2 years later, Jodia would create a very big disaster. Died in that disaster. The player will reach a terrifying number. Could it be that this kid is looking for himself to plan a disaster? Li Yuyang was very suspicious of his appearance. Disrupted the original process. It is possible that the man-made catastrophe was really preceded. Can you tell me what exactly you're trying me to do? Jodia smiled. Seriously, you don't have to be so nervous. We can actually be friends. But the devil believed him. Whose good friend will hold a knife to talk about cooperation? But Li Yuyang didn't dare to lift the table. He was going to stall as much as he could. Otherwise, it would be possible to hang here. Anyway, though, Li Yuyang will not agree to any of Jodia's requests. This guy is crazy. The slightest mistake will lead you into the abyss. I'm not a closed beta player. You can trust me on that. So how do you know the news of the S+ boss? And those with hidden copies? Isn't that obvious? You're the closed beta player. It was clear that Jodia was not reconciled. However, Li Yuyang just lightly spit out 2 words. My character is better. Believe it or not, I'm telling the truth. Without waiting for Jodia to continue asking, Li Yuyang suddenly grinned. Lao Tzu is the bastard son of a game planner. Don't be envious. Envy is useless. Crispite. Jodia didn't hold back. Laughed straight out loud. You're really interesting, kid. After saying that, Jodia gave a jerk. Hope to see you next time. You're still so lucky. Li Yuyang's face was full of doubts. What the hell is this kid doing? However, the next second, he was overwhelmed by the swarm. There was no time to keep staring at Jodia. After 25 minutes, in a dark corner, Jodia said with her phone in her hand, "Don't worry. I just met him. Didn't really do anything to him. And that kid is really funny. Still, I like the way he looks when he's grumpy." Speaking of which, Jodia began to cough violently. A streak of blood appeared at his feet. Rest assured, no big deal. Just a little cold. After saying that, Jodia ended the call. Professional player Ma Dongwang. And that old bird with a quirky personality. The two of them turned out to be the same person. Come to think of it, there was a hint of a smile on Jodia's lips. I'll help you keep it a secret. Hopefully, your luck will continue to improve. Otherwise, the world would be too boring. Rested against the wall for a moment. Jodia suddenly felt a little regretful. Speaking of which, the guy also killed himself several times. I should have stabbed him twice. There was a puff of breath. Li Yuyang sneezed violently. There were too many people, he meowed just now. His mask was squeezed off. Speaking of which, Jodia herself is not as violent as the legend suggests. That kid really let himself go, walking barefoot on the street. Li Yuyang was completely stunned. At the time of the fall, just now, not only the masks and shoes are gone, I don't even know where my wallet went. It's over. I don't know where the dirt cats went to play. Luckily, the hotel they were staying in wasn't too far away. Otherwise, Li Yuyang would have to beg along the street. I walked for 20 minutes. Li Yuyang still didn't find his way back to the hotel. So much time has passed. Dirk, they're supposed to be looking for themselves. As everyone knows, in a lively arcade, Dirk and Mauritian are having a lot of fun. The two little fingers have completely become a little fangirl. They gradually lost themselves in the cheers of the audience. Only Li Yuyang held my arm sadly and slowly moved towards the hotel. Suddenly, Li Yuyang's eyes widened. A man who shouldn't have been there appeared behind him. Lu Yanran. How could this little girl suddenly appear here? Li Yuyang's mask is gone. If only he had known the truth. This woman could be even more brutal than Jodia. As everyone knows, the reason why Lu Yanran is here. I followed Jodia all the way. I didn't think it would be you who Jodia was looking for. Feeling a trace of coldness, Li Yuyang was stunned. But he didn't wait for him to explain. Lu Yanran has already made an offensive posture. Encounter old acquaintances in a foreign land. The two of us are really destined. You're right. An old bird who wears only bitter tea. Lu Yanran's fingers were clicking. The old lady has been waiting for this day for a long time. The ugly man with a hurt face. Where did he go? Listen to Lu Yanran's question. Li Yuyang's face was full of doubts. What is this crazy woman doing with Jodia? Could it be that she and Jodia also have a grudge? Recall being in the Dark Knight dungeon. Li Yuyang was stabbed by Jodia. But in the end, he also killed Jodia to take revenge. Swallowed and foamed. Li Yuyang's cold sweat ran down his face. If only this is the reason, then this woman is too vindictive. Silently staring at the old bird, Li Yuyang sighed heavily. In retrospect, they did know each other for a long time, from being pitted at the beginning to being chased by the northern continent later. Chase, chase, chase. In fact, Li Yuyang already had complicated feelings for the old bird. At the beginning, the blackened old bird appeared. Lu Hong was angry when he sprayed the old bird for the first time. Only Li Yuyang was extremely calm. I'm sure the old bird will never slaughter ordinary players for no reason. The reason is also very simple. This guy is a man who can't afford to be early. If there is no benefit, the little quacks stretch their necks. Old birds also don't take the initiative to attack. If there is money to be made, that's another story. That kid was greedy for money more than most people. Speaking of which, Li Yuyang remembered the tens of thousands of gold coins that had been pitted before. Don't let me meet him in reality. Otherwise, the old lady will have to let you leave some parts. In fact, Li Yuyang herself is very clear. The siblings are not good people either. Black-hearted work is suitable for online lending. These are not good jobs that can be put on the table. Fortunately, King Ma Dong appeared. Gave Li Yuyang spiritual sustenance. Ever since I met that man, Li Yuyang's life is also getting better and better. Join the King of Horses supporters. This is what Li Yuyang is most fortunate about. So now everything is going in a good direction. As the Sisters of the Support Club said, forget about the enmity with the old bird. There's really no need to hold on to it. Exhaled heavily. In Li Yuyang's incredible expression, Li Yuyang touched her head helplessly. Actually, we can get along peacefully. I've had a lot of things happen to me lately as well. So let the past pass. Let's all put it down. I don't know the real reason. Now in the Asian Cup, Li Yuyang didn't want to bring negative publicity to Ma Wang. But Nizi is also very strange. Why does the old bird in reality look so decadent? It's not the same as in the game. It's really no wonder that Li Yuyang is blind. Now the old bird not only has his coat and shoes gone, the whole person looks like a beggar. How can there be a dominating look in the game, now that the misunderstanding has been resolved? So let's go our separate ways. Don't wait for him to finish. Li Yuyang suddenly heard a loud noise in his stomach. This guy hasn't eaten for a day. I've been hungry for a long time, and his wallet was also stolen. How can there be money to buy food? Saw Li Yuyang's embarrassment. Li Yuyang couldn't close her mouth with a smile. You kids still have it. Today. The next second, there was a rumbling sound in her stomach. Excuse me. The old lady is hungry. I'll go back to dinner first. I hope we never see each other again. Walking and walking. Li Yuyang stopped suddenly. Shocked, she touched her pocket. There's a big hole there. Where are the wallets? It was too fierce just now. I didn't pay attention at all. Now it's all right. The two became brothers and sisters. The hotel is about 15 kilometers away. If you go by foot, the year of the monkey can only arrive. Stared at Li Yuyang for a while. Li Yuyang suddenly couldn't help laughing. It's really unrealistic. You're cute. And as a licking dog in a previous life, Li Yuyang knows Li Yuyang's physique very well. He looked at it with a big grin. In fact, it is easy to catch a cold, even if they have been reborn. Li Yuyang still can't forget those profound memories. Right now, the red cloth on the side caught his attention. It's really humiliating, though. But in order to earn money for taxis, that's the only way to do it. Li Yuyang didn't say a word. I took off my coat directly. In Li Yuyang's frightened gaze, the bitter tea man actually staged a realistic version. Then pick up the red cloth. Li Yuyang skillfully put on his cloak. Everything is ready to go. Champion live performance. This operation made Liu Yinran look stupid on the spot. Xiao Gaga, who was passing by, also cast his eyes on it. I've seen a broken boulder in my chest. I've never seen anyone walk on a third leg. Li Yuyang couldn't have imagined to live again. I even licked the dog. Because of Li Yuyang's strange dress. It attracted many passers-by. The time is ripe. Li Yuyang directly showed his unique skills. Invincible licking skills. Give me a fulcrum. I can lick until the world is destroyed. Li Yuyang's performance is not excellent. However, there's a large number of streets with a lot of people. He still managed to make some hard-earned money. He meows and dances a striptease in public. You kid don't want any face, don't you? Unexpectedly, Li Yuyang didn't care how much his face was worth at all. Is it 500 grams a pound? Liu Yinran was speechless when she said this. I've seen shameless. I've never seen such shamelessness. By the way, don't talk nonsense. Where are we going to eat next? Ruthlessly abandoned. Just because there is no money to pay the bride price. This is the result of Li Yuyang's licking for 5 years. But that's all in the past. Take out a portion of grilled squid. Li Yuyang had a smile on his face. Experienced so many worlds. Li Yuyang could have looked at Liu Yinran normally a long time ago. Look at the fragrant grilled squid. Liu Yinran couldn't help but apologize. In Li Yuyang's incredulous gaze, Liu Yinran continued. I'm sorry. What I said before was too heavy. You're actually the one who sees the most. I don't live as dashing as you. Listen to these words. Memories of past lives flood in. Liu Yinran's father's funeral. Ma Dongxing's expression on the sound of the falcon. These memories followed. Reach forward. Li Yuyang said calmly. Do you eat it or not? If you don't eat it, it will be cold. I apologize in good faith. Do you accept it or not? Who would have thought that Li Yuyang would still be this hanging sample? Love to eat or not to eat? I'll eat it myself. The aroma of grilled squid continues to tempt Liu Yinran. It was as if there were two little demons in his heart who were constantly tugging. In the end, Liu Yinran still didn't resist the temptation that it was okay. Snatch the squid. Liu Yinran thanked her duplicitously. The two of them just ate and hung out. Has the money that Li Yuyang earns by selling himself and not performing arts. The two were not in a hurry. It's right to go back to the hotel. Why do you worship King Ma Dong so much? This is not nonsense. He is handsome and kind-hearted. The technology is okay. Who wouldn't love that? Hear this. Li Yuyang burst out laughing. Was praised to his face. Li Yuyang was really a little embarrassed. I have to say, you know King Ma Dong better than I do. There are so many advantages in him. In fact, Liu Yinran likes Ma Wang for many reasons. It always felt like the man knew him well. Not only will it help me take out the garbage in the car, also helped his 3 sisters and brothers get rid of Ma Dongxing's control. Thanks to him, Liu Shiyue's surgery was able to proceed as scheduled. So to speak, King Ma Dong is the benefactor of his family. If it's possible, Liu Yinran is really willing to make a promise. Speaking of which, Liu Yinran laughed at herself. Don't be so gossipy. I don't think there's any need to tell you about the King of Horses. Don't you think I'm more approachable than King Ma? Take a closer look. Maybe I'm better suited to you than King Ma. As soon as this remark came out, Liu Yinran almost blew up. Veteran, this guy has been in the pit together since Medusa. Liu Yinran. Chase all the way to the pit. This kind of wild way player. No matter how you look at it, it can't be compared with King Ma Dong. But speaking of which, I and the old bird are really enemies. When I was most embarrassed, only this second cargo is accompanying him. It's really a bad fate. Come to think of it, Liu Yinran suddenly recalled Liu Shiyue's words. If there is no old bird sister, you probably won't get this fast. And you don't think King Hippo compares. You're actually a better match for the old bird. Just when Liu Yinran fell into memory, Li Yuyang took out a warm baby. I know you're more afraid of the cold. Hurry up and put it on. It might feel better. Or they all say that licking dogs should be damned. Respawn once. This guy still licks so naturally. Bang! Li Yuyang kicked one side leg directly on Li Yuyang. The old lady warns you to stay away from me in the future. What I like is only King Ma Dong touching his old waist alone. Li Yuyang's whole body is going crazy. What the are you meowing? Why did you hit me all of a sudden? Excuse me. I'm just reminding myself. The only thing I like is the king of horses. Hear this? Li Yuyang was stunned for a moment. Then he burst out laughing. It's a funny joke. Right now, Li Yuyang suddenly saw the banknotes tumbling on the ground. This thing fell out of Li Yuyang's pocket. And obviously, this big ticket was not obtained by Li Yuyang's performance. You've always had money hidden on you, kid. It turned out that the old lady was the only audience. Seeing that the atmosphere is not right, Li Yuyang wanted to retreat as soon as he took a step. But the next second, Li Yuyang's fist had already hit mid-loin. This punch is a perfect score. He meowed. All previous words are invalid. Don't let me see you again next time. Otherwise, I will see you and hit you once. Seeing Li Yuyang put away her smiling face, Li Yuyang could only continue to lie on the ground, constantly smiling wryly. Lao Tzu, what is this picture? Beat and lose money. It's happier to be the king of Ma Dong. The playoffs will be held today. The winning team can challenge the Horse King team. This gives you a chance to re-enter the market. In order to analyze the real strength of the two teams, the members of the King of Horses team also gathered in the conference room of the hotel. Looked at Li Yuyang, who was constantly snotting. Ein Jing asked uneasily, "Where did you run yesterday? We can't find you." Only Ma Ritian and Lu Shiyu on the side did not dare to speak. They had a good time yesterday. When did you find your own captain? In order not to worry his teammates, Li Yuyang didn't mention Jodia. And Li Yuyang is hiding more than that. He and Dirk have known each other since a previous life. Of course, Li Yuyang didn't know how to explain all this, so it's not interesting to say it. Stared at the screen for a while. Li Yuyang only hesitated for a moment, still stood up decisively. I'm going out for a trip. You don't have to worry about it. I'll just keep watching. Poof! Li Yuyang wiped her nose in the room. I still had a cold last night. But fortunately, there was no race for the King of Horses today. The reason why he watched the Asian Cup, in order to cheer for the King of Horses. But think back to yesterday. Li Yuyang felt a little angry in her heart. But that kid has always had the money. Also pretended to be righteous and awe-inspiring. Damn it. There is no comparison with the real Horse King. Wear a coat. Li Yuyang walked out of the room. He's going to buy some cold medicine. Otherwise, it may affect the cheering for the Horse King. Jodiana's guy, who is constantly messing with the game. And that guy is very good at summoning skeleton troops. If there was no old lady, the award ceremony might have been lost. Speaking of which, that kid is still a little useful. In this way, the thoughts of good and bad kept echoing in my mind. Li Yuyang couldn't help but shake her head. Right now, Ma Dongwang came to the door of Li Yuyang's room with a bag of medicine. Speaking of which, it should be called Lu Hong to send it. Wouldn't it reveal your identity? The cheeks are getting redder. Li Yuyang has already launched a high fever. But just as he was about to walk out of the hotel, a figure suddenly caught his attention. Keep an eye on the fire escape. Li Yuyang chased after him without hesitation. Why did that guy appear in Ma Dongwang's hotel? Is he going to be against King Ma Dong? Come to think of it, Li Yuyang's footsteps became faster. The door opened. Li Yuyang still caught up with the worker. Please wait. Hear this. Little Quack pressed the brim of his hat. A sneer hung on the corner of Jodia's mouth. Hello, little girl. If you remember correctly, you're the female warrior with the big axe. Be identified at a glance. Li Yuyang was shocked. However, in the next second, Jodia put her hand in her pocket. It's just a blink of an eye. Jodia was already in front of her. This man is undoubtedly a madman. Grudges in the game. He really wanted to commit murder offline. Bang! The right leg kicked Jodia hard. Little girl, are you brave? However, he didn't wait for Jodia to finish speaking. Li Yuyang's fist smashed hard. But how could he beat someone when he was still feverish? Jodia of the tall horses. Your attacks are weak. Guasha in the game. Is Guasha also in reality? The body floats down. Jodia rushed up as fast as she could. Stared at Li Yuyang. All eyes were on Jodia's right hand. With a bang, he raised his leg and kicked it out. But Jodia just dodged the attack sideways. The sharp cone in his right hand had already pierced. Should I run away or continue to fight? Myself. Do you have what it takes to beat this man? Bend down to dodge the cone. Endure the pain in your forehead. Li Yuyang's fist was already full of angles. Jodia still sneered. Little girl, I advise you. Bang! The fist was slammed into the face. This punch used up all of Li Yuyang's strength. Jodia's body flew straight out. I don't know what you're going to do in a hotel. But as long as I'm alive, it will never bother you. King Ma Dong. Right now. The parts scattered on the ground caught Li Yuyang's attention. This guy turned out to be with a bugging device. This venting made Li Yuyang more certain. He came against King Ma Dong. Damn garbage. You have the ability to win in the game. Unexpectedly, Jodia just smiled faintly. How do you know we're in reality? Maybe this is the game. The supreme god is the reality. Between words, Jodia pounced again. This guy is coming too hard. Li Yuyang could only choose to retreat. But he still underestimated Jodia's speed. At the last moment, a feeling of dizziness came. Li Yuyang only felt a splitting headache. There was a loud bang. The big foot kicked Li Yuyang hard. This kick is a strong sinking. Wait. Li Yuyang, who was not dominant in the first place, was kicked out directly. His body slid down the steps. Oh yes. Li Yuyang couldn't have imagined it. He was even pushed open by the real day. Li Yuyang looked down suspiciously. Hear voices overhead. Jodia immediately stopped her movements. This is a hotel in the heart of the city. If you are caught, it's hard to run. So Jodia left the scene as soon as possible. As for Li Yuyang, he walked down the stairs suspiciously. Who the hell made the loud noise just now? The next second, he saw Li Yuyang lying on the ground. What the hell is going on? Why did Li Yuyang fall to the ground covered in blood? I don't know how long it took. Li Yuyang opened her eyes in confusion. A shout rang out in my ears. Wait until your pupils refocus. I saw Li Yuyang yelling anxiously when he saw this scene. Li Yuyang smiled bitterly. Am I doing too many bad things? Has there been retribution? Why did the person he saw before he died turn out to be an old bird? It's really poured 8 lifetimes of blood mold. Come to think of it. Li Yuyang fainted again. Only Li Yuyang's face was full of question marks. Is this awake or not? The Asian Cup was held as usual that night. Team H defeated Team J with a score of 5-4. In the hallway of the hospital, footage of the game is constantly playing. But Li Yuyang was not in the mood at all. Follow the game between 2 of your losers. He was still thinking about who attacked Li Yuyang. And why attack a girl in a foreign country? And in the ward. Although Li Yuyang has passed the dangerous period, but because of the blow to the head, the whole person is still in a coma. Lu Shuriwei on the side couldn't stop crying. It was a scene she was all too familiar with. It was my sister who sat on the stool at the beginning. Now it's her. Right now. Lu Hong's voice came from the side. Boss, I've already done an investigation of the hospital. Nothing out of the ordinary was found. Thank you for your hard work. Before figuring out the enemy, you must always protect the people around you. After speaking, Li Yuyang paused for a moment. He immediately apologized solemnly. Although there is no evidence, but I already had a guess in my mind. The person who attacked Li Yuyang was likely to be Jodia in the game. The guy invited me to join last night. I turned him down. Who knew that kid was so extreme? They even attacked the people around me. So it's likely that your sister was implicated by me. As soon as the words fell, Lu Hong suddenly stretched out her hand. He grabbed Li Yuyang's neckline. See this scene. Li Yuyang had no intention of rebelling against Lu Yinran's matter at all. He was also apologetic. Glared at Li Yuyang for 3 seconds. Lu Hong still sighed. It has nothing to do with you. It's my sister who is too careless. She shouldn't have chased her out alone. And you've helped my family a lot. In fact, after Lu Yinran's accident, Lu Hong asked people to conduct a thorough investigation of the hotel. A number of listening devices were found in the clan meeting room. Their conversation has long since leaked out. If there is no Lu Yinran, this Asian Cup, the Horse King team may be more passive. And in Li Yuyang's memory, Jodia is a well-known serial killer in Country M. This guy may be even stronger in reality than in the game. So Lu Yinran can survive in the hands of such a person. Already lucky. But what Li Yuyang couldn't figure out was that, if the guy is here for personal revenge, why install a bugging device? If you remember correctly, Jodia wasn't on the roster. He is also unlikely to play in the Asian Cup. Just when Li Yuyang Xianjin was thinking, Coach Ruoyu also rushed over anxiously. Lu Hong greeted him as soon as possible. Although Lu Yinran is not a member of the team, but as the sister of Lu Shiyu and Lu Hong, if it rains, he will naturally come to visit. Luckily, the floors aren't too high. Lu Yinran's injuries were also rescued in time. So just take care of it for a while. It's not a big problem. Lu Yinran was seriously injured in a sneak attack. The Horse King team will have to send someone to take care of it. They are facing a shortage of manpower. And the loss of galaxies. Own sister. Maybe I'm not in the mood to participate in the next competition. I have read the team coach Ruoyu is not very nervous. As long as people are okay. Other members of the team have already left the hotel. And I found a place to live temporarily. After all, no one can guarantee that there will be any other listening devices. Something like this happened the day before the game. That's the worst-case scenario. And according to the rules of the game, even if there is an accident on the part of the participating team, the tournament will also be held as usual. Although Ruoyu also fought for it. But it can't be helped. Rules are rules, and no one can change them. After all that is said, Ruoyu cheered up. No matter what difficulties come across, we're all going to have to keep winning. If the King of Horses team does not get a good result in the Asian Cup, after returning home, Ma Dongsheng, that guy may directly attack the team. Even if the Horse King team is directly disbanded, it is possible. After all, that old thing can do everything. That's right. Ma Wang Ruoyu stared at Li Yuyang with a smile. In fact, we have a better choice. Although that method is not very reliable, but I think there's a lot of hope of winning. Hear this. Li Yuyang immediately became serious. If you have something to say, you can say it explicitly. I believe in you absolutely. Lu Hong looked at him in surprise. Ruoyu took a deep breath. He immediately said out loud his intentions. Abandon the original plan. Start the Demon King project again. Lu Shiriyue stayed in the hospital to take care of her sister. So put him last. As for the starting position of Nima Dongwang, it is none other than you. As long as you're powerful enough. Lu Shiyu doesn't need to play at all. So, although depriving others of the opportunity to perform. However, of course, stability must be the first element of the game. So does Ma Wang have the confidence to dance in the Asian Cup? Hear this. Li Yuyang reached out and took off his mask. It's been a long time since it's been this boiling. A string of 5. That was last year. The third day of the Asian Cup. In a cheer. The opening ceremony officially began. Now on the stage is a popular singer. She is also one of the most popular female players among the Supreme God players. Accompanied by a beautiful singing voice. The whole arena was set on fire. If you don't look closely, you certainly don't know. This girl has actually appeared a long time ago. He is one of the members of Team H. The sorcerer player who performed well. Comparatively. The strength of the Horse King team is indeed not weak. However, Ma Dongwang's international influence is indeed not as high as that of the H team. And in Battle Royale matches, the King of Horses, the King of Chicken Thieves, leads the two teams to confront each other through strategy. In the end, the fisherman profited. It's okay though. But it didn't reach the point of igniting the audience. Team H has been introduced. Next up is Team C. As soon as the words fell, the audience booed. What is there to say about the old six? Obviously, this group of little quacks has not yet seen the horror of the Horse King. In the weak voice of the presenter, the Horse King team calmly completed the debut ceremony, although there was a lot of cheering all around. But Li Yuyang's face was still calm. This group of international friends is still too tender. Now how loud they shout. How loud they will still shout next. I will completely shatter their beauty idols with both hands. The map is generated. This time, the venue was a canyon. The group stage of the three teams is coming to an end. This match will determine who will qualify for Group A. The first player to appear is the meat player of Team H. He is considered to be the top 5 meat tans of the entire Supreme God. The other side, the matter sent by the Horse King team. Just as the narrator turned his head to look, he froze suddenly, because the starting player of the Ma Wang team turned out to be the captain Ma Dongwang. This familiar feeling almost made the narrator jump. Is the King of Horses going to be serious? The narrator is a native of Country C. Naturally, I know the record of King Ma in China. Over the course of his career, whether it's a headwind, a string of fives, or a punch, eliminated 27 pros. This is all the deep impression left by the King of Horses on the commentary. So for the narrator of Little Quack, the King of Horses is his idol. And it's the only idol. The battle is about to begin. Please be prepared for both sides. Little Quack roared. The reason why a meat shield is a meat shield. It's also normal to have thicker skin on your body. Come on. Let me see if your output can break my defenses. Little Quack laughed and pounced. He first launched an attack on Li Yuyang. Huge size with ferocious momentum. It can really be stressful. However, Li Yuyang still stood at the end. Until the distance is sufficient. King Ma Dong raised his arm. The shield is still a shield in the back. You can only be my target. Just in the early hours of this morning, Lu Yinran asked Lu Hong to bring a sentence. If the King of Horses can make the cut, he'll definitely wake up. So please give it your all. For you. Also for the whole team to turn on the full set of power. A huge buzz resounded throughout the audience. This punch carries the power of 2 styles. Just ask if you can catch it. Hard against the Little Quack's fist. The earthquake and the vortex directly swallowed all the meat shields. And how to defend high. And how? Under the full force of eddies and earthquakes. Little Quack can only be reduced to a kite. It's still the thumping sound of the broken wire. The huge Little Quack smashed into one stone wall after another. Until 5 seconds later, with a huge explosion, the Little Quack is embedded directly into the wall. Wait until the smoke clears. A deep pit was left in the cliff face. There is also a small quack unyielding shape. This happened too suddenly. The entire venue fell silent. Didn't you say that it was okay to meet? Why was it a dry explosion with one punch? Is he fat? Ruayu clenched her fists excitedly. Familiar taste. The same fist. The King of Horses is invincible. Although I was mentally prepared for a long time, the commentary is still stuck. You must know that the previous games were just civil wars. The gold content of the Asian Cup is too high. Who would have thought that the King of Horses would still be so simple and rude? I can't even eat a meat shield. This punch scolded Li Yuyang's expression was still extremely calm. But beneath the calm lies endless anger. It doesn't matter who's behind it. I thought I would break it with my fist. The next member of Team H has arrived. This is an agile player. Not only is his body extremely flexible, a long sword is also flying. But at the moment when Li Yuyang dodged the attack, he finally got his chance. The right-handed skill is still on cooldown. So Li Yuyang decisively pressed his left hand to Xiao Gaga's abdomen. The hum of the vortex has been heard. The destruction of Team H has also entered the countdown. Dasha Spring. Who are you messing with? Do you have to mess with the King of Horses? An exclamation accompanied by commentary. The second player of Team H announced GG. Ali Crab using a spear. This kid is also an agile warrior. It's different from the previous guys, though. His weapons are longer and more flexible. So Little Quack is very calm, because it can be determined by the first two games. King Madden's attack power is indeed S level or higher. However, the attack distance is naturally his shortcoming, and the spear of the Little Quack has its own cutting function. No amount of armor can stop it. Analyzed all this. Little Quack already has the confidence to win. Slam your feet on it. Little Quack rushed out at great speed. On the other side, the King of Horses still stood calmly in place. The sound of the boom kept ringing. The King of Horses began his show again. A professional player who has killed all sides in the country. Can he replicate his legend in the Asian Cup? Up. Left, right, right. ABA. No matter how fast Little Quack's attack speed is. Still didn't touch the King of Horses. But Little Gaga, still not in a hurry. The King of Horses has been dodging. Doesn't that just mean that this guy is relatively short? As everyone knows, the King of Horses is also analyzing the enemy. His mind was silently counting the spears. Wei for the first time, second, immediately after the third time. Then there was a brief pause. 0.3 seconds. That is, to take advantage of this opportunity. The King of Horses' fists had fallen. There was a loud bang. Xiao Gaga's speech was directly beaten. Of course, a normal attack can't kill a fighter in an instant. However, the Horse King's attack is not over yet. Before, the gloves were raised high. There is no earthquake on the left hand yet. There was a loud bang. Little Quack's head was violently pressed to the ground. The earthquake launched an ultra-close attack at a critical point, plus the horror panel of Li Yuyang himself. This blow, Little Quack owes 100,000 blood. Spikes are spikes again. At this moment, all the audience fell silent. For the first time. The second time may have been a coincidence. But what about the third time? Put your fists away. Ma Dynasty took a crisp bite on the ground. I can't see such a big flaw. You're still a pro. I really don't think I can catch that 0.3 seconds. Meanwhile, inside a gym, Ma Dongye stared at the TV screen squarely. Rao was conceited, and he was also shocked by the performance of the Horse King. This guy really managed to kill him indiscriminately. Could it be a monster? And on the other side, Ma Dongsheng naturally saw the game, staring at the Horse King on the screen. The old man's back molars rattled harshly. The veins on his forehead bulged out. I'm scared. The next second, he ordered takeout because of a cerebral infarction. The game continued. The whole space began to tremble. The next player on Team H is Pu Yinyan, who is good at fire magic. This little girl's ranking is not low, especially for the control of the fire element. It has also reached a very high level. So in the face of remote output like mine, what are you going to do? Hear this. King Ma Dong was still very calm. He still carried on to his old style. Wait for the enemy to strike first. There was a loud bang. Fire magic descends from the sky. A huge explosion flooded the entire area. The smoke and dust brought by the flames also completely obscured Li Yuyang's vision. The narrator gets tense again. The circular flame photo seems to have a special function, and Pu Yinyan's skills are still ongoing. I really don't know what kind of surprise he will bring to everyone. A cloud of smoke appears on the outside of the staff. Charge ends. Skill activation. With a bright light lit up. Blazing flames. In an instant, it squirted out. Li Yuyang could only stretch out his arm. Defensively against magic. This little girl has just released 3 skills. They are water, fire, and wind. These 3 skills turn the area into a large steamer. Fusion skills. The test is the skill control of the players. The only way to do this is to control the sequence, duration, and release direction. To achieve such an effect, this little girl is really strong enough. The steam at 2,500 degrees Celsius was enough to burn King Ma Dong into a muggle. So after a full 30 seconds, Pu Yinkai smiled and relaxed his vigilance. No one will make it out of the hot zone alive. Not even the previous tank. So Pu Yinyan is very confident in his skills. As everyone knows, Li Yuyang, who is in the high-temperature area, has no intention of dodging at all. He understands the horror of combining skills. However, it is also clear that there are weaknesses. The heat can indeed inflict a high deal of damage on the enemy. However, the corresponding high temperature can also cause a burn to the caster. Pu Yinyan himself simply couldn't hold on for too long. So, at the moment when Xiao Nizi let go, it's the best time for the King of Horses to fight back. The tide turned. The entire arena was turned into a field of flames. This scene is too shocking, especially the ones that are scorched. Is still the King of Ma Dong, who killed all sides before. Suddenly, Pu Yinyan noticed something abnormal. Why didn't the enemy in the flames react at all? Just when the flames were interrupted. The next second, Li Yuyang waved his arm. Disperse all the hot steam. Excuse me. The last thing Lao Tzu is afraid of is fire. Hear this. Park Yinyan's face was full of shock. He couldn't figure out what was wrong. As everyone knows, Li Yuyang's S+ gloves not only have a high attack bonus. Self is immune to all fire damage. It's not resistance. So, everything is hot. In Li Yuyang's view, it's just a local chicken and a dog. The staff was raised aloft again. Tiger Rock also wants to continue to release skills. However, Li Yuyang had already come to him. Since you are so enthusiastic, I'll have to respond. Otherwise, it would be too cold. A golden fist in the left hand. A strong punch in the right hand. This time, Li Yuyang stretched out both arms at the same time. This side of one side. Vortex explosions are the ultimate art of combos. The whirlpool in the right hand began to condense. The earthquake in the left hand also began to tremble. See this classic skill set explainer. Excited, he almost stood up. But how do you combine the skills released by the two hands? As if in response to Little Quack. The left and right hands suddenly clasped together. Just listen to a click. Powerful forces began to spread in all directions. Eddies and earthquakes have always been two of Li's favorite skills. After getting new equipment, this fusion skill has been strengthened countless times. A strong suction force acts on the ancient rock. He could only take a step. Retreat to the rear with all your might. However, in the next second, a terrifying scene appeared. The guy who unleashed the fusion technique actually rushed up. Yes, you read that right. King Ma Dong is moving and casting. The fists are approaching fast. Harness the powerful pulling force of the vortex. Tiger Rock could only watch as iron fists kept approaching. At this moment, Tiger Rock's cerebellum atrophied directly. What magic skills this little Nizi forgot everything in an instant. Even the 99 multiplication table has been removed. It's just a blink of an eye. King Ma Dong had already come to him. The boom followed, just as Pu Yin Rock was preparing for the explosion. King Ma Dong stopped suddenly. Fists parted. King Ma Dong stretched out his finger. There was a crunch bang. The ripe watermelon flew straight out. Fierce and nerve-wracking. This is a brain meltdown. Look at the 4 damage is not high. In fact, there is a full set of high attack damage bonuses. Even if King Ma Dong farts, it has to hurt. 9,999 plus farts keep ringing with a boom. Tiger Yinyan's screams came. High-temperature areas of his own making. Completely engulfed his body. Excuse me to be quieter. I still like you who unleash fusion skills. The mage's body was already brittle, facing ultra-high temperature burning. Pu Yinyan didn't even survive 3 seconds. It's already turned into a charcoal grill. 4 players were eliminated in a row. Next, Team H can only use their strongest moves. It is said that this player has fought thousands of fights in China, but there was no defeat. What's more, he doesn't just operate well. Singing and dancing rap is even more proficient. People live beautifully. That's what he's talking about. Super popular player H Team Pu Shiyin. Being a professional can both sing and dance. It can also flash a roundhouse kick. Such a girl. IG, eddies, and earthquakes should be fine. With Pushy Rock coming out, the audience was boiling. He's the H-band's last hope, since the king of horses can be a string of 5. Pushy's words can also be reversed to a string of 5. Li Yuyang remembered that this woman was his highest achievement. He is a 6th level archmage. That's also the top level among magicians. If you remember well, the current Pushy language should only be at the 5th level. So Li Yuyang didn't have any pressure at all in this battle. As everyone knows, Pu Shiyin is also observing. Li Yuyang, this little girl, seems to be very calm on the surface. In fact, my heart has long been boiling. A long time ago, he's just a singing and dancing player. Practiced dancing and singing every day. Then I was busy until late before I could go back to rest. And Park Hyun's only psychological sustenance. Watch the game of the Most High God on TV. At that time, King Ma Dong was at his peak. Hit 26 kills with 1 kick. A string of 5, turning the tables against the wind. These are the records of King Ma Dong. As an amateur player of the Supreme God, push in after watching the match of King Ma Dong. It gets out of hand, so to speak. It was because of Ma Dongwang that he decided to become a professional player, relying on his original fan base. Plus, Bu Shiyin is indeed very talented. This little girl can be an instant hit, become a well-known player on Team H. He shook his head vigorously. Pu Shiyin has been advising herself in her heart. This is the Asian Cup match. Chasing stars is chasing stars. Be sure to play your way. Take a deep breath. Spit out the sunset. I'm trying my best to adjust my state. And King Ma Dong on the side was not in a hurry to make a move. He was calculating the next steps of the battle. In the early stage, you only need to use the earthquake to defend against the opponent's magic. As long as he activates his ultimate, King Ma Dong has a chance to kill with 1 blow. And yet at this very moment, Pu Shiyan's voice came to his ears. I know you're strong. I've also seen many videos of you fighting. So rest assured, I won't let you down. I've seen my own videos. Is this guy also a fan of mine? King Ma Dong just lowered his head suspiciously. Pu Shiyan's palm began to condense the magic power. To defeat you, I did a lot of hard training. Ma Wangjun, please be careful. Triggers with skills. 3 formations flashed above King Ma Dong's head. This thing is a symbol of the magician's imminent activation. It's just a blink of an eye. Flames fell from the sky. This range and intensity. Li Yuyang was also taken aback. He hurriedly dodged sideways. While dodging skills, Li Yuyang was also surprised by the speed of Bu Shiyan's hand. As the so-called layman looks lively, insiders look at the doorway. It's a bit of an exaggeration to say that there are 8 swords in 1 second. But 6 swords in 1 second can definitely do it. At the moment when Li Yuyang was thinking, a magic circle appeared in front of him again. This distance is already close to the face, and at the level of Li Yuyang. He didn't even notice what Park Shiyin was arranging. Look up. Li Yuyang was stunned for a moment, because there is more than one formation like this. The breath rock took advantage of the gap that Li Yuyang dodged. The whole person rose into the air, and behind him were neatly arranged 8 formations. The commentary is also shocked, and it becomes a stuttering 8 array diagram. Puck-size specialty. And in the whole Most High God, he is the only one who can do this. Li Yuyang couldn't help but open his mouth wide. 8 array diagrams. But after Pushyin became a 6th level great magician. Before learning the skills, Why is his strength beyond the memory of his previous life? Is it because of his own appearance? History has changed. The 8-array diagram can be said to be a skill. It also counts as 8 skills. Requires extremely high hand speed and a huge skill buildup to complete. So when Li Yuyang saw the 8-array diagram, would be so surprised. The attributes of the 8-array diagram are divided into fire and wind, the 10 halls of ice grass, and the 8 different formations of light and darkness. 8 different attributes. The narrator couldn't help but stand up. This trick, what is King Ma Dong going to block? I have to say, Puxian is indeed a genius who plays mid laner. Level 5 magician Li Yuyang could stand still and fly him. But if you get to level 6, then you have to show a little bit of real skills. Press your left hand on the ground. At the moment when the bombardment of the 8-array diagram fell, the earthquake also started at the same time. For a while, the buzzing sound resounded throughout the arena. The audience was stunned. King Ma Dong is a string of 4. Puxi also killed King Ma Dong in seconds. Does it mean that Park Xian can go against the wind and make a string of 5s? Cheers rang out in the arena. There are obviously more supporters of Puxian than King Ma Dong. But wait until the smoke clears. King Ma Dong still stood in scathe, spitting out his face. Completely confused. There is someone who can carry the 8-array diagram. It's impossible. He is the only 6th-level magician in Country H. No matter how strong the players of the international server are, it's impossible to just block the 8 formations diagram casually. Immediately, Puxian almost lost his expression management. The only one is the idol of Ma Dongwang. That's the only way you can do that. The narrator was so excited that he almost climbed onto the table. Actually, if you look closely, the ground around King Ma Dong was lifted. He used the effects of earthquakes and eddies, added a layer of earth shield to his body. The 8-array diagram is fusion magic though, but as long as the player's eyesight is good enough, you can still find the cutting point for each skill. Li Yuyang also took advantage of this trick. In order to stand safely in the elemental storm, slowly get out of the smoke. There was no change in the expression on King Ma Dong's face. The 8-array diagram is indeed strong. It may work better when used to play PV1. For me, though, the shortcomings of the 8-array diagram are still too obvious. King Ma Dong's words completely shattered Park Xian's self-confidence. And it's so close. Pu Xian has no chance to continue unleashing her magic. The consumption of the 8-array diagram is too great. It is also a skill that Puxi has been used to win in one move. Who would have thought that King Ma Dong would crack it so easily? Is this kid really invincible? In the shocked expressions of the commentators, Park Yun, the #1 member of Team H, the seed player who took over the hopes of all the spectators, actually took the initiative to admit defeat. Let's congratulate King Ma Dong on his final victory. As a result, the team successfully entered the semifinals. Coach Ryu jumped up excitedly. Word, it's you. Lu Shuriwei in the hospital was also trembling with excitement. My sister's affair affected the entire team. If the King of Horses really loses the game because of this, it's not just Lu Shuriwei. Even Lu Yenran may have to feel guilty for the rest of her life. There was a cheer in the arena. Start today. The name of King Ma Dong also went abroad, officially entered the field of vision of the entire Asian audience, but under the watchful eye of the whole audience. Puxian, who lost the game, suddenly came over. Lord Ma, can I ask for a copy of your signature, please? Actually, I'm a fan of yours. Focus on 2.5 years of Iron fans. Li Yuyang couldn't have imagined it. Participating in various Asian Cups can even gain a beautiful fan. As Pu Xiyin slowly bent down, the audience fell silent. The impact of this picture on the audience has surpassed that of Ma Dongwang. Break the 8-array diagram. Excuse me. I don't like to eat cabbage. After saying that, King Ma Dong actually left directly. Only the Pushi Yin remained, stood still in a daze. Team Horse King was the first team to get a ticket, and King Ma Dong also proved it with his own strength. In his eyes, there are no borders at all. It's the same for whoever comes. Lao Tzu does not explain a string of 5. Meanwhile, a gloomy basement. Jodia smiled and stared at the prompts on the computer. The scene is in lockdown. Inaccessible. This is the basement with the Asian Cup venue. It is also a server storage place for competitions. Why is Jodia here? Who is that guy lying on the ground? Actually, the answer is very simple. This kid is going to start messing around again. As the supreme god who has been opened and free. In fact, there is an Achilles heel. That is, the servers are too open. And Jodia also has the art of invasion. This kid has been playing since the closed beta period. So to speak. In addition to killing people, Jodia's greatest hobby is playing with the supreme god. There is only a thin line between a madman and a genius. Whether it's Jodia or Kim Jin-so, they are undoubtedly geniuses. One that can exploit vulnerabilities to enter and exit the game at any time. Even the ban can't be restricted. One makes use of internal materials. And with this, millions of dollars have been wildly linked. When these two people join forces, I can't think of anyone else who can stop them. Unfortunately, Jodia really invited Kim Jin-so to be her helper this time. The game is over. The team managed to qualify for the semifinals. All members of the two teams landed. Normally, today's contest will conclude with the bows of 9 players. But right now, the whole arena suddenly went dark. All lights are turned off. The big screen also gets dark. The broadcast commentary was stunned and stared at the picture of the black hole. He had a bad feeling in his heart. Bang! Power is restored. The scene is still the same as that. It's just that there are hundreds of monsters in front of the 9 pros. The melodious sound of the flute sounded throughout the arena. Hameln's flute grade A+ feature is only one. That is to summon and control the monsters around you. But there's a big weakness to this thing. That is, the range that can only be summoned is limited. There's no way to use it across servers at all. So Jodia wanted to achieve her goal. Other items must be used with the Arbiter's summoning. Disposable items can ignore distance. Summon monsters around you. But it's clear that this thing only has a calling. There's no way to make them work for you. There is also the Arbiter, who cannot summon boss-level monsters. Elite monsters are the limit of scroll summoning. So the highest level that appears around the arena is only A+. Dinosaur rank A+. The length is 32 meters. Habitat, ancient swamps. Red Orc level A+. These little quacks may not be the strongest within their territory. But here, 15 A-level elite monsters are enough to clear the field. Of course, this premise is that the man who is buggy doesn't make a move. Stop Jodia from appearing. Disrupted the rhythm of the Asian Cup again. Logically speaking, an event of this size, Jodia can't sneak in. As everyone knows, at the moment of the end of the game, the server's protection will become weak. Jodia also uses this mechanic. Successfully summoned 15 A-level monsters. All states are refreshed. The 9 men present and Jodia and his monsters. A new round of competition was formed. Ma Dongwang's voice was cold. Does it really make sense? Why would you want to destroy the game environment? Yet Jodia still said that. He asked loudly into the camera. I'm looking for a closed beta player. Is there anyone who is a closed beta player? Please contact me. Same recipe. Same taste. Li Yuyang is going crazy. His meowing dog stuff is endless. Step out. King Ma Dong rushed directly towards Jodia. See this scene? Pushi Yin is the first to activate the skill. It's a war to defend the server. They can sit on the sidelines. But what about next time? Jodia is a notorious stirrer. His actions are to openly provoke all professional players. Any bloody player can't stand it. Not to mention the 15 A-level bosses. Even if it's 150, they also dare to fight hard. What's more, Pu Xian took the lead in charging along this weak woman. Added an invisible buff to everyone. There was a thud. Dirk Cat turns on remote support. Ma Ritian even chose hand-to-hand combat. None of the real combat power was shown during the game. All were released at this moment. The people of Team H didn't hide it either, although they hate King Ma Dong very much. But at this critical juncture, no one will drop the chain. Jodia's smile grew even stronger. He stared at King Ma Dong and whispered, "Let's have fun. There may be more interesting earthquakes to unleash later." The whole land began to tremble. King Ma Dong was stopped in front of him by 3 A-level bosses. But this kid was stunned and didn't retreat. Ma Dongwang's outfit is best suited for frontal hardness. Just single-handedly defeat 3 A's plus a few. This scene surprised all the onlookers. Look around, even if it's pushy. You can only play with your teammates, circling around the boss. The audience was except for Ma Dongwang. No one can go it alone, even if it's an A-level boss. Right now, the conveyor channel opens. Team J has been eliminated. There are also a large number of alternates who have also landed. They spontaneously rushed to the monster to make a fuss about the Asian Cup. You kid didn't take the wrong medicine. This time Jodia did something even more serious than the last time. He is not just a secondary weapon of a country. Now that the actors have already appeared, Jodia didn't hide it anymore. He pulled out a strange scroll again, with mana infused. The reels are also burning at a breakneck speed. Then an even bigger crack unfolded. War. Demon King, rank S-rank trait. Dark Beast. War Frenzy. Habitat. Temple of 10,000 Demons. Necrotic Demon, rank S trait. Va Fanaticism. Dark Rage, self-detonating habitat, 10,000 Demons Temple. This group of monsters is ruthless. The lowest is S grade. Jodia, this guy's been in hiding for so long. Finally brought a lot of surprises to Lao Tzu. If the S level is the most powerful boss of the Supreme God, then the S rank is the ceiling for ordinary players. Watch as dozens of S classes appear at the same time. The little quacks watching the game couldn't close their mouths. Every boss here has the ability to kill them in seconds. Not to mention so many gathered together. It's over, it's really over. Even if there is King Ma Dong, you can't live in this environment. The Most High God is all about freedom, whether it's the player's behavior within the game or the code server. So Jodia is a guy who specializes in sabotage. Naturally, he sees the opportunity to make trouble. With 12 S-rank bosses, Jodia was once again in the C position of the field. Ask again, who are the closed beta players? Please contact me. If not, I'll ask again later. He wants to use the influence of the Asian Cup to find people. Is this guy crazy? A large audience stared at the screen in amazement. I don't even know how to describe the soles of my feet. The members of the various teams began to huddle. They can't solve the boss on their own, even if it's the lowest A+ grade. It also takes a whole formation to cooperate to barely block. So it's only a matter of time before the player's side loses. Tremendous suction power generated by Vortex caused the boss's body to lose its balance. With a loud bang, the flames of the earthquake engulfed an A-level boss in an instant. Then came the sound of a roar. Dirk Cat and Ian Jean also rushed forward as soon as possible. The three of them teamed up to farm many dungeons. If PV1 also has a ranking, these three must be in the top 5. More and more people have seen the surprise of the Asian Cup. There are also more people who are starting to link games through other means. What do you think? Do you still like this gift? Jodia seemed to be enjoying the process. He loves to hunt players, whether it's by killing it yourself or by summoning the boss sand. Huge golems appear in the arena. This is a summon for members of the J Sentai team. Was originally pitted by Li Yuyang. The two teams fought each other. In the end, King Ma Dong picked up the watermelon. So in the eyes of the audience, they are actually very weak. In reality, this is not the case. Every pro player is carefully selected. In the Asian Cup, they represent their own country. No one is going to joke about it. Sirens sounded in the room. Jodia's affair also alarmed the game's official law enforcement team. On the way to come. It won't take long, and they will be dispatched. Take those monsters, including Jodia herself. It was solved. Plainly, no game company would have made such a major mistake. But it can be released on the Supreme God, which is normal. The Supreme God is not what the game company says. The supercomputer is at the heart of the game, and the means by which game companies solve emergencies. It can only be through the law enforcement team. It is commonly known as GM One Punch to smash the entire mountain. Kick the large area of land to pieces. A full set of single equipment obtained from the S+ boss can increase attack damage by 20,000. There was not a single piece of garbage equipment on the body. What are you going to do with me? King Ma Dong used his actions to explain what it means to be violent. The gloves on Ian's clean hands can increase the attack power of 9,999. I thought he could already become a proxy for violence. Who would have thought that King Ma Dong would be even more excessive? Normal attacks are the damage of someone else's ultimate. It turned out to be in the game. King Ma Dong didn't take them seriously at all. I'll leave you with those little A-level bumps. The S-Class ones are not for me to finish. Wait for the Dirt Cat and others to react. King Ma Dong stepped out. 12 S-rank bosses. Ma Dongwang is indeed not an opponent. But what if there were only 2? Jodia. You kid forgot to close the back door. It's a game that is keen on offline authenticity. Good man. Constantly messing around in the game. It's his greatest pleasure. But a professional player named Ma Dongwang. It was as if he was Jodia's destined enemy. No matter how much he makes a move, in the end, it will become a stepping stone for King Ma Dong. For example, there are only 2 of the 12 S-rank bosses left. The other 10 were recalled by a prop. The reason why Jodia was able to summon so many bosses. Actually, before that, Li Yuyang received a strange text message. Jodia is there to fulfill a request called the Killer. Special missions. The props he uses have a special backdoor. All you need to do is find the collector item in the Temple of 10,000 Demons. You can summon the boss that belongs to the 10,000 Demon Temple back. The text messages are not signed. However, at the end of the text message, the information fee provided this time is noted. It will be collected at a later date, although it is not known who sent the text message. How much authenticity there is, but King Ma Dong was in the spirit of believing in it. I still went to buy items related to the 10,000 Demons Temple. With props excitation, 10 bosses belonging to the 10,000 Demon Hall were summoned back. There are only 2 bosses left in the other areas. That's why King Ma Dong dared to be so confident. All you have to do is attack A-level monsters. Leave the S-Class ones to me. After speaking, King Ma Dong began to speed up. He nimbly dodged the monster's attacks until he leaps in front of the boss. Left-hand vortex. Right-hand earthquake. Fist fusion technique with both hands. Unleash the power of the rage again. It fell on the boss in an instant. The full set of Mamoon comes with an earthquake. It also reduces the enemy's defense by 50%, plus double the damage effect. King Ma Dong's blow can deal 4 times the damage. If you give this quadruple damage to someone else, probably not much yet, but the bonus can't be described as terrifying in King Ma Dong. You heard the load bong. Both S-Class bosses were overwhelmed by the earthquake. Blazing flames covered the entire area. King Ma Dong is the god of the flames. Bang! Left hook on the boss. This was followed by a right hook. This scene is so brutal. King Ma Dong has completely transformed into a melee machine. He unleashed his power without reservation. Attacked 2 S-Classes at the same time, and it doesn't fall behind. even if one player has a full set of S plus gear at the same time. It is also difficult to reach the level of King Ma Dong. The equipment of the Supreme God is thousands. If there is no reasonable match, it may be difficult to achieve the level of 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Not to mention the effect of Ma Dongwang's 1 plus 1 is greater than 2. On the other side, the scuffle continues. Ian became extremely cramped. He's not very good at dealing with big smash fights. But if there is an A-level plus Little Gaga, take the initiative to provoke Ein Jing. This nurse will also teach him how to be a low-key monster. High-temperature steam is emitted from the entire set. King Madong's armor was also melted by the heat. The durability of weapons and equipment in one corner is insufficient. This is the challenge faced by Ma Dongwang. He was dressed in the equipment of both the Old Bird and the King of Ma Dong. If the armor is broken, the Old Bird's anti-armor is about to be revealed. Li Yuyang was faced with a difficult choice. Exit the battlefield of the S rank. Fight with others. Then you might die. A lot of people will also break their word to all the viewers. Or fight to the death. Li Yuyang is confident that he can match the anti-armor and gloves. Kill both bosses completely. Meanwhile, a transparent shadow in the battlefield canyon was moving rapidly. He is the main culprit of the riots. It is also known for its brutality. Jodia of the entire gaming circle. But this kid doesn't take the opportunity to do things. Why rush towards the place where King Madong fought? Face 2 S-class bosses at the same time. Rao is the king of Madong, also has to pay full attention. The power of waving the fist back and forth with the left and right hands gives Ma Dongwang crushing attack power. You can knock down an S-class with a single blow, although it may take a bit of work to kill them. But Ma Dong netizens are confident that it is absolutely no problem to single out 2 S levels. That's the confidence that comes with S plus gear. The boom is still ringing. The boss's health bar is gradually decreasing. But just as King Ma Dong was about to wrap up, Jodia sneaked up to his side. Just listen to the pop. A blade glowing with black fire. Directly into the hearts of the 2 bosses. Grab people's heads on the spot. This old 6 is a real dog. But that's not all. 2 red beads burst out of the boss's body. S-class Hellfire Orbs. Contains the core of Hellfire. The other one is also a Hellfire Orb. It's just that the properties of the 2 beads are different. Get what you want. A smile appeared on Jodia's face. Thank you very much for the output. No more bothering. This time I'll go first. No one expected it. Jodia, this guy actually came with a purpose. He uses professional players to fight beasts. Solve 2 S-rank bosses for yourself. To put it bluntly, the monsters summoned by the props are only temporary. They don't listen to Jodia's orders. Step out of King Ma Dong. A vortex was released towards the front. Huge suction comes into play. However, Jodia's agility was much higher than that of King Ma Dong. It's just a blink of an eye. He disappeared into the canyon. Li Yuyang gritted his teeth in anger. It's always been him who robs other people's things. When have you ever been so aggrieved? However, the agility of King Ma Dong's equipment is too low. If you want to catch up with Jodia, you can only switch the equipment of the Old Bird. But Li Yuyang didn't want to expose his identity in the eyes of the public. Right now, a great idea came to mind. The corners of Li Yuyang's mouth lifted slightly. Arrows came from behind with a thud. But Jodia still didn't care. Run straight ahead. Hellfire Core. This thing contains the energy of Hellfire. If you detonate them, enough to blow up an entire area. Jodia is going to do big things with them. A light strip under your feet. Jodia uses the balloon to float down the canyon. It's a primeval forest. The terrain is also more complex. Just get out of the fight. You'll be able to find a place to log out of the game. Meanwhile, in the depths of the forest, I saw Jodia running wildly. Kim Jin-so pursed her lips in boredom. This guy is crazy too. I really don't think of professional players as human beings. Hear this. Jodia just pouted disdainfully. A bunch of little rattles who follow the rules. What do they have? But that's not the end of the story. Jin Jinxio's body was directly penetrated. A claw leaned out of his body. As a great magician of the plant department who is not inferior to Puxian, the Golden Needle Show has a combat power bonus in the forest. But even so, he didn't notice that the sneak attacker was just blinking an eye. Kim Jinso quit the game because of death. Jodia, on the side, pulled away as fast as she could. This is the map of the worlds. How could there be such a terrifying monster? I saw one in the darkness who looked like an old bird, but it looks like an extremely hideous monster. He was grinning at Jodia, grabbed my stuff, and wanted to run. Do you really think I'm a soft persimmon? The smell of a beast spreads through the forest. This image, it's very much like the imposter old bird before it. But listen to this guy's tone. He's the old bird himself. Jodia was also confused. Why did you become like this? As everyone knows, this is the third form of the old bird. This is a more powerful form than second gear. Ghost mode. In this state, the old bird can use any skill of himself and King Ma Dong at will. And it's 100% resistant, no matter what kind of control skill. None of them can have any effect on the old birds. Grim smile. The old bird rushed out like a real ghost. It's just a blink of an eye. There was an extra dark shadow in front of Jodia. This speed was much faster than Jodia had expected. The kid was about to raise his hand. Activate skills. The huge fist had already hammered up. It's too late to fight back at this distance. Jodia raised her foot to jump up and dodge. However, in the next second, there was a sudden sharp pain in his feet. The old bird actually grabbed his ankle directly. Ghost mode affects the player's own personality. In this state, the old birds will become extremely cruel. Just listen to a click. Jodia's ankle was directly crushed. But at the same time, the Book of the Dead was also successfully activated. The resurrected dead pounced on the old bird. Li Yuyang didn't look back at all and swung his fist out directly. The moment a piercing click sounded, the sneak attack was hammered into slag and dust. The other two undead are counted. The Golden Needle Show was also resurrected as a ghost. The botanical magic has been activated. The old bird was suddenly entangled in a large field of plants. Jodia just wants to run away now. He didn't want to fight the old bird here. Obviously, the kid did it. The botanical magic of the Golden Needle Show. But it's extremely wicked, even if it's a ghost. The old bird also took a few seconds to solve it completely. Jodia took advantage of this gap. It's long gone without a trace. Li Yuyang took a crisp bite. He meowed, and he really let him run. Beyond the primeval forest, Jodia came to the hiding place that had been prepared in advance. Although Kim Jinso was slaughtered, but the smile on this guy's face didn't diminish at all. If you rely on the two of them to face two hell bosses at the same time, there is no chance of winning at all. And Jodia wanted the flame pig very badly. That's why he remembered to go back to his old job. Fortunately, the thing has been obtained, but the kid didn't notice him. There was a black aura lingering on the ankles that had been crushed by the old bird. This thing is Li Yuyang's curse effect. It can only be solved by going to the temple. Otherwise, the health bar will continue to decrease. Until death once. Even if you log in again, it's useless. Meanwhile, Li Yuyang went offline and returned to the arena. There was a smile in his eyes. Jodia really thinks he'll be able to escape. Just a few minutes ago, he received a text message from Lu Yenran. Na's little Nizi has woken up. Fell from the second floor. Serrated. 'Cause of mild concussion. I really don't know if it was his luck or Jodia's mercy. But as a person who has come over, Li Yuyang understands very well. How strong is that woman's ability to hold grudges? The only temple in front of the south. Jodia limped out of the waypoint. He kept pulling out the potion and stuffing it into his mouth. The corrosive poison on the ankles is getting worse and worse. He had to enter the temple as soon as possible. Clear this damn thing. However, in the corner that Jodia did not pay attention to, A woman with a large axe was staring at her with a smile on her aunt's face. In reality, you hit hard, but in the game, it's what the old lady said. Li Yuyang couldn't have imagined it. The sixth who steals things, not even a professional league champion, was beaten by a woman without a temper. Liu Yanran's temper should be well known to everyone, so he was kicked down from the second floor. So this hatred can't be endured at all. Hundreds of members from the King of Horses fan group. In addition, Liu Yanran herself has long been blocked at the entrance of the temple. And Jodia also lived up to expectations and entered the encirclement. Liu Yanran pinched her fingers. A cruel smile appeared on his face. New sorrows, old sorrows. Let's figure it out today. Meanwhile, the group stage of the Asian Cup has ended. The video of Ma Wang also went viral on the internet. At this moment, the name of King Ma Dong finally rushed out of the country to the whole of Asia, and Jodia's sudden troublemaking. It also raised the ratings of the Asian Cup to a higher level. After all, normal race dogs don't watch. But someone who lives naturally can attract more attention and likes. Li Yuyang stared at the computer screen quietly. The corners of his mouth lifted slightly. Be a traverser. Naturally know the huge benefits of the video. So, as the contestant himself, he also uploaded a video of the match on his account. Another large sum of gold coins was credited to the account. Sooner or later, the money from Lao Tzu's hotel will have to be earned. Except for the group of Ma Dong Wang. The other three groups also decided the qualifiers in the next few days. The situation is clear now. As long as the Horse King can fight all the way to victory. Li Yuyang has tens of millions or even hundreds of millions of advertising revenue. The club has grown to this point. It's getting on the right track. Right now. A text message came from the phone. Liu Yanran brought hundreds of members of the King of Horses. Succeeded in killing the talented Jodia. Most importantly, this little girl really exploded the other party's equipment. Hellflame Orb Rank S. This is one of the items dropped by the two bosses. Sooner or later, what was stolen will have to be returned. Lao Tzu was right. Although I don't know why Jodia must have two beads. Just think of that guy's hysterical look, though. Li Yuyang couldn't help but want to laugh out loud. Just when he wanted to put down his phone and get ready to rest. Liu Yanran sent another text message. Do you have time to come to my room? I want to meet you. See here. Li Yuyang's face was blushing as if he had opened the second gear. It's going to be late to meet. Is there a membership program? But he wiped his mask. Li Yuyang shook his head helplessly. If your identity is revealed, most likely, lightning will come. 5 whips came to Liu Yanran's room. This little girl expressed her gratitude formidably. When I fell from the building, thank you for saving me. Whether it's a life-saving grace, it's still a grace to his family to reinvent themselves. Liu Yanran really had to say thank you to King Ma Dong. But King Ma Dong didn't seem to care. Your sister was a rare competitive talent. And Lu Hong is also a natural bodyguard. You have also helped me a lot. After saying that, the two fell silent. The atmosphere began to get awkward. Just when the temperature in the room was about to rise, Li Yuyang suddenly thought of a question. That's right. Are you planning to change jobs? Why don't you come and be my broker? After all, we're both so acquainted. Let someone else do it. I'm not at ease. Hear this. Liu Yanran was stupid directly. Lonely men and widows. You just want to talk to me about work. Is the old lady so unattractive? Let's be honest. To say that Li Yuyang has no feelings for Liu Yanran. The dogs didn't believe it. After all, it's been licking for years. What does it mean to put it down? But let him regain the feelings of the past. It's certainly not that easy. So you're going to promise to be my agent. After the Asian Cup, Ma Dongwang's worth will definitely skyrocket. When the time comes, Hiroko will sign a sponsorship and so on. Somebody has to help. So Li Yuyang really needs it. Liu Yanran came to help her manage the company. After the group stage, players don't have a week off. So in addition to daily training, King Ma Dong received an unexpected invitation. An invitation to visit the headquarters of the Supreme God. This is undoubtedly an official certification. It is the highest honor for a gamer. Even a well-known coach like Li Yuyang. He has never entered the headquarters of the Supreme God. The reputation of the Supreme God has always been very good. Otherwise, he wouldn't have become the most popular game in the world. So for this invitation, Li Yuyang did not hesitate at all. I agreed in one bite. In the evening, Li Yuyang took his teammates to an office building. This is the world headquarters of the Supreme God. At the reception of the staff, Li Yuyang met the chief engineer of the game. He is responsible for designing and controlling the progress of the entire game project. He is also the most crucial person in the Most High God. With the little quack into the building, Li Yuyang finally understood. Why do NPCs and the High God seem so wise? It turns out that the Supreme God is controlled by a super AI. All NPCs have realistic prototypes, and they will change their personalities based on their experiences. Just like the farmer who Li Yuyang met before. The Most High God is a world. In this world, you can realize all your imagination. In addition to the mountains and rivers and ley lines, Li Yuyang also saw 17 balls of light. That represents 17 fixed S+ bosses. He is also the 17 most powerful top marauders in the entire Supreme God. By the way, you won't feel tired playing 2 accounts alone. There's also time to switch gears. Do you feel inconvenienced? Hear this. Li Yuyang almost kicked over. Turn your head to look. Lu Yanran and Li Shuriwei were visiting somewhere else. See this scene? He breathed a sigh of relief. Until this moment, the kid just reacted. His secret is really not worth mentioning in the eyes of the game company. Let's move on to the 17 bosses. No, there should be only 16 of them now. Because Oz of the Dragon Clan has been killed by Li Yuyang. But after talking, Li Yuyang understood. The dragons and demons fought against each other for a long time. Among them, the S+ boss represents an extremely important force. Like Oz, he has S-class dragon knights under him, Puppet Queen, and more. Not to mention those little quacks below the S-class. So Li Yuyang is curious. If at this time, the demon clan attacked the dragons in a big way, shall they not be destroyed? Who expected to hear these words? The chief engineer just smiled faintly. He raised his hand and pointed towards the 17 balls. Each ball represents an S-rush. If you die, the ball of light will go out. You see, that ball over there represents Oz. Follow Little Quack's fingers. The orb that symbolizes Oz is clearly still shining. This also means that Oz, the Black Dragon King of S plus a few days, does not have it at all. All 47 spheres glow. This also means that none of the 17 S-level bosses in the Supreme God have died. Li Yuyang stood blankly in place. Oz is still alive with the guy he killed. This means that the memories of Li Yuyang's previous life are no longer enough. Maybe there's some more advanced intelligence. He didn't know. Looked at Li Yuyang's appearance. The project director next to him just smiled faintly. Due to non-disclosure agreements, I can't tell you much else. Be careful with Leviathan, though. It was a demon clan that lived in the depths of the ocean. Li Yuyang once encountered it when he was attacking Ma Ming. But compared to the boss news, Li Yuyang is more interested in closed beta players. Let's be honest. The guy Jodia was looking for. Or what is so special about the group of people you are looking for? So much so that it made that madman so worried. I thought about it for a moment. Little Quack still smiled and spoke. The closed beta version is similar to a demo. It was already before the official launch of many game companies. Internal tests carried out. But the Supreme Divine Disease is different. We didn't have a closed beta. There is only one open beta for the Most High God. Immediately after that, the official version was directly launched. So what the hell is that madman Jodia looking for? No one can tell. Hear this. Li Yuyang's eyes became more serious. If there is no closed beta, how Nakan Jinsu and Jodia joined forces again? Aren't they all so-called closed beta players? Coming back from a gaming company, Li Yuyang relogged into the game. Jodia aside, the Asian Cup is what he cares about the most. If the Horse King team can't win the Asian Cup, the rest is going to be hard. Log into the game. The old bird has come to a new dungeon. Murder Tower. This is a hidden copy. Special quests need to be completed to enter the Killing Tower. Follow the thick fog into a high mountain. The terrain here is simple. It's a straight line. And the reason why the Murder Tower has this name, just because of the red players who are punished here. It can also trade and act normally. Does not trigger the guard's attack. So the Murder Tower is also the darkest side of the Supreme God. If Jodia is looking for a long-term habitat, this is the place to be. It didn't take long. Li Yuyang walked to the central square. To better investigate this place, Li Yuyang took the initiative to communicate with the NPC next to him, and bought a lot of slime jelly in the hands of a little girl. These gadgets are worth 100 gold. That's $10 in cash. Li Yuyang simply bought it all, and the little girl was not surprised. Took her to her brother. They are the natives of the Killing Tower. It is also a trigger clue for hidden quests. Li Yuyang is no stranger to this kind of thing, and there was no information about it in his memory. So the little girl offers a hidden mission. Either the returns are low, either that's less important. As everyone knows, that is this humble task. It could save her life in the future. Li Yuyang couldn't have imagined that he could play the game well. You can really date online. As a top PV1 player of the Supreme God. Veteran, this vest is Li Yuyang's most important face, and the account to get the equipment. It is also relying on the memory of the past life. Li Yuyang was able to obtain props and equipment that far surpassed others. This is the root of his awakening. So the 300 soldiers who stopped Lao Tzu in front of him. Why the hell? It turned out that Li Yuyang was in the previous big coin scattering activity. Received the honorary count of Utoris. It's a real glorious title. So Li Yuyang is not even in Utonis. Can still get the most grand treatment. Together with the soldiers, Li Yuyang came to the place where the city lord lived. This is the heart of the entire Killing Tower. After talking to the lord of the city, Li Yuyang also knew the history of returning to the city. There wasn't that much smog here at first. It was the battle between dragons and demons. Volcanic eruptions that cause the Earth's crust to move around it. That's why so much smoke appears. The result is a gathering area for players to commit crimes. The Castle Lord actually wants to change the situation as well. However, the system settings are not something that an NPC can change. Just when Li Yuyang was chatting with the City Lord, an unexpected person came. Lu Yenran, head of the King of Horses fan group. This little girl actually chased all the way along the clue. Let's be honest. Although Li Yuyang is the king of Madong, stayed in the same hotel as Lu Yenran, but tracked down Jodia. He never mentioned it. So look at Lu Yenran. Li Yuyang was directly stunned. Don't we get along? Why is Lao Tzu where? You'll be there. Lu Yenran didn't recognize life at all. You've come just in time. I have a task to do. Originally, Lu Yenran and Lu Hong were sisters and brothers. In the game, they're basically inseparable. But since Lu Hong became the head of security, Lu Yenran became a loner. Many tasks are not something that can be done by one person. Lu Yenran came to the City Lord's mansion to try her luck. Let's see if there is a group of masters. It's right to think of it. There are no savages. There was an A-blade that cut through the air. Li Yuyang poked the last little gaga. This is the location on the edge of the city. It is also the location of Lu Yenran's mission. Keep an eye on the prompt for task completion. A smile appeared on Lu Yenran's face. I didn't think it would be comfortable to team up with you. That's true. Who is the old bird? The whole supreme god went to inquire. There is no trace of him in any high-level copy. And since the last time I was online, the relationship between the two is much more harmonious. Plus Jodia's 2 appearances. It caused a lot of trouble to King Ma Dong. Also let Li Yuyang lie in bed for several days. So this crazy woman. Naturally, the hatred was put on Jodia. The point of the next quest is in a warehouse. We may have to shift places. Idol is also idol. Although Li Yuyang said that she came to find Jodia. But if you don't do the task, you can't talk about it. How to strengthen your own strength. It's to support Lord Ma in disguise. Li Yuyang naturally will not stand still. On the way to the warehouse, Li Yuyang inspected the general structure of the warehouse. And soon he had a specific strategy plan. The name of the warehouse is Augusta Barn. It is the place where the grain is stored. There's a dam nearby. Just dig a passage around the perimeter of the warehouse. You can bring in the flow of water. So, they don't need to venture into the warehouse. Just wait for the enemies inside to be washed out by the water. In fact, this task needs to be completed by 2 Taoist priests. However, there is Li Yuyang in his top 8. Li Yuyang counts as 2. It also barely meets the conditions of the mission. It's good to be with Li Yuyang. It's just that I always feel cold behind my back. In pursuit of Jodia. These 2 feuding grudges finally got together. The mission objective is to destroy the dust warehouse. Li Yuyang managed to drill a hole in the dam. Just harness the power of the current. You can completely flood the warehouse. Then they don't need to venture into complex terrain to take risks. Daifuku slammed into the ground. The last one was about to be crushed by Li Yuyang. Immediately after that, the raging water burst the embankment. The entire warehouse is downstream. It won't take long. The warehouse will be completely submerged. See this scene? A smile appeared on the old bird's face. I didn't think you were quite capable. This is the first time he has praised Li Yuyang. In a past life, this woman is a high player. It's not as good as the pros, but there is a ruthlessness in him. Things that many players don't dare to do. Li Yuyang is not ambiguous at all. The 2 of them chatted for a moment. The entire warehouse was shattered by the impact of the water. Mission accomplished. The next stage is to get the key from the castle lord. The key to unlocking the Tower of Murder. This is a hidden mission. It is also one of the most rewarding quests to return to the city. Li Yuyang naturally has an impression. With the help of past life memories, Li Yuyang began to set the words of the city lord. Keyword slack. Notmers on anonymity. As long as the player mentions these keywords in the chat, it becomes a hidden clue to trigger the killing tower. In that tower is a terrifying being. His name is Kama, an existence of demonic dust who is good at using witchcraft. It is to provide convenience for red players. That group of little quacks because they killed too many people in the game. As a result, it is impossible to enter the main city for trading. And back in the city, even if your name is red to purple, you can still trade with NPCs as normal. It's just that the taxes may be higher. The 2 left the city lord's mansion. Towards the edge of the gray city, there stands a tall tower that is shrouded in smog all year round. Because of the Asian Cup, Ian Quarter and Dirk Katz need to be trained intensively. That's why Li Yuyang chose to enter the gray city alone this time. Jodia can be found. That kid better if you can't find it. At the very least, you can handle a few hidden missions. This is Li Yuyang's purpose. It's simple and simple. As for Li Yuyang, the goal is even simpler. That is to find out Jodia's lair in the game. 25 minutes later, the 2 successfully reach the killing tower. Take out the keys. Li Yuyang opened the tower door without hesitation. Step on. The 2 of them entered the eerie tower together. Just for a moment, the smell of blood is pervasive. Red energy. It devoured the 2 of them in an instant. You have entered the Tower of Murderers. Level unknown. When Li Yuyang opened his eyes again, the surrounding landscape has completely changed. The first thing you see is a sign. Each layer has a player's name written on it. It's a space designed by the players. As long as you have enough combat power to capture one floor of the tower and to change the decoration of the entire tower as you wish. Look at everything familiar on the first floor. The corners of Li Yuyang's mouth couldn't help but lift. The last time I was here was probably a few years later. In a past life. He is also one of the tower owners of the Tower of Murder. Although it was only done for 24 hours. Step forward. The two of them soon reach the second floor. This is an ice field. The level of the surrounding monsters is also not high. Take out the eyes of the snow goose. Lu Yinran cheered up again. It's different from what it used to be. This little girl felt inexplicably excited. Is this what it's like to make a copy with the enemy? Killing towers can be used as a city lord by capturing gameplay. At that time, you will be able to start building mode. Transform this floor into what you want. Change the terrain. Add traps. All of these actions can make it more difficult to clear the level. Li Yuyang took Lu Yinran into the first floor. It's a world of ice and snow. The players who made this terrain are big fans of the ice world. So he would use a lot of the settings and props from the movie to set traps and monsters. Li Yuyang had been here in his previous life, so he skillfully navigated most of the pits. Clear the first floor in 5 minutes. Clear the second floor in 10 minutes. Up to the third layer. Li Yuyang's pace finally slowed down. The author of this map is a crazy cartographer, a labyrinth he built with his own hands. Even if Li Yuyang knows the steps to clear customs. But it still took 3 hours. And no mistakes can be made. You can't go wrong with following me later. If you are devoured by a trap, even I can't save you. Hear this? Lu Yinran just nodded lightly. Although they have become teammates now. But Lu Yinran never felt that her operation was worse than that of the old bird. There is probably only King Ma Dong in this world. Can make Lu Yinran say a big word convincingly. Move quickly with your left and right feet. Li Yuyang repeatedly jumped sideways at a fixed frequency. It took 2.5 hours. They finally came to the edge of the map. Finally, there is the crucial step. They need to pull off a triple jump with the help of a cliff bulge. This is very difficult. Ordinary people really can't do it. So Lu Yinran looked very nervous. He clenched the big axe in his hand. He still meows and fights. Really, brain-moving things are really not for him. A jerk under his feet. The old bird made the last step with agility, followed by Lu Yinran. This little girl skillfully completed the second jump. However, there was still a mistake in the triple jump. Fortunately, the old bird has a quick eye. Grabbed Lu Yinran, who was about to fall, with his hand. Don't get me wrong. I'm not interested in women with axes. There is a thrilling clearance of the third floor. The next fourth floor is very bland. Old birds make use of their own props. I came to the entrance to the fifth floor smoothly. The people who build the fifth layer are their targets. Jodia was on the first floor. Li Yuyang confirmed his conjecture. That guy really made a home in Gray City. And it's in the murder tower. I have to say, Jodia is really familiar with the Most High God. Does the closed beta, he said, really exist? The teleported array of light flickered. The two of them left the fourth floor together. Wait until the halo dissipates. A room covered in gold appeared before them. There are a lot of statues in the room. These statues are all people that Jodia once killed. Naturally, this also includes people who have been killed in reality. The old bird smiled faintly. He asked directly, Jodia, are you kid at home? If you are not at home, Lao Tzu is about to demolish this place. As soon as the words fell, Jodia came from the depths of the room. His eyes looked extremely impatient. You're not done with the damn bunch. Didn't Lao Tzu just grab something? Facts aside, you're not wrong at all. Li Yuyang couldn't have imagined it. As a murderer, Jodia's taste is quite good. Gold statues plus gold roofs and walls. This room is the old bird's dream room. The materials are special items from the kill tower. If this layer is not occupied, the old bird couldn't damage the contents of the house at all. But suddenly he was stuck at home. How could Jodia endure? As the saying goes, the guest comes with the host. It's all coming. Let's play the game I designed. In this place, Jodia has a crushing position. Because this is his home, he is the master of the 5th layer of the killing tower. The countdown begins. Numbers began to appear on the body of the old bird. From 110, the damage is getting higher and higher. If you want to beat the level, you have to participate in the Colosseum designed by Jodia. Only keep killing the monster old birds to be able to release the timer on the body. And during this time, they cannot attack each other. This is the power of the city lord. Jodia's smile became more and more wicked. Heaven has a way. You don't go. There is no gate to hell. You come to vote. Leave or keep playing. The choice is in your hands, and you stare at Jodia for a moment. The old bird was just about to step in. However, Li Yuyang, who had a more fiery temper, couldn't bear it anymore. He rushed straight in. Now it's embarrassing. 2 players appeared at the Colosseum at the same time as the monster was supposed to be fighting. Jodia's smile grew stronger. Excuse me. I just forgot to tell you. The Colosseum can only record 1 at a time. If 2 people go in at the same time. Sorry then. Only one of the 2 of you can come out alive. Hear this. The old bird's face became more and more ugly. He knew that the 5th floor was the Colosseum, but he didn't know the hidden rules. So what to do now? Do you really want to fight each other? Li Yuyang's anger was already irrepressible. If he can find Jodia offline, Li Yuyang may not hesitate to fight. Come on, boy. I committed suicide. 6 words that are decisive and not procrastinating. The old bird was speechless for a while. Don't worry. Isn't it just a person? Let's just fuse. As soon as this remark came out, Li Yuyang was directly stunned. The duo fusion is still a man and a woman. He's going to eat Lao Nyang's tofu. Although this is the game world. But the Supreme God has the best somatosensory system. Whether it's a collision or a touch, you can feel the most authentic feelings. Suicide or fusion. The choice is yours. The old bird was unusually speechless. As a 24K straight man, Li Yuyang naturally couldn't understand Li Yuyang's way of thinking. There's a way to clear the customs. I don't even want to use it yet. What are you thinking? No wonder it is said that women affect the speed at which knives are drawn. The ancients did not deceive me. Staring at Jodia not far away, Li Yuyang still compromised. Immediately afterwards, Li Yuyang took out the jelly he had purchased before. This item is only of low level, but they have a very peculiar effect. That's the power of integration. Just apply the jelly to 2 people. Then you can get a bug stuck with a quick rub. At that time, the 2 will be able to share the same body. It's like an ogre. 2 heads and 1 body. This is the solution that Li Yuyang thought of. Of course, if it is possible. Li Yuyang also didn't want the river to merge, because that will reduce your own combat effectiveness. Old bird, this guy is the biggest virus of the Supreme God. Although very reluctant, Li Yuyang still nodded and agreed. Blind as long as he can kill Jodia. This little girl can forget about the hatred with the old bird for a while. Enter the cloak. Li Yuyang took out a large pile of jelly. This thing is unusually viscous. It provided lubrication for the friction between the 2. The cloak began to tremble. Just a moment. The 2 of them triggered the bug. 1 person with 2 heads. Jodia, who has been playing games for so many years, is really the first time to meet her. The moment the 2 of them walked out of the Colosseum again, another exclamation came. Plant magician Jing Jinxiu. Unexpectedly, this guy's landing point was also set up to kill the tower. Now it's all right. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Li Yuyang didn't plan to let them go. The timer on the body that passed the test is also over. At the moment, Jodia has lost the advantage of the layer master. Step forward. Li Yuyang lay directly on the ground. Two people control the same body. It's really too far off. But fortunately, the body is an old bird's. With the killer mask bonus. Attack and agility are still there. Miss Lu Yinran. Please don't fight. Let me do the battle. Reluctantly, though, Lu Yinran still nodded and agreed. In the next second, the body exploded directly. That's what it feels like. The blade stabbed straight at Jodia. The ground suddenly began to tremble. The plant magician only blinks an eye. The entire area was turned into a forest. The botanical magic of the Golden Needle show is still so annoying. The best way to deal with this woman, it was to send him a vortex plus an earthquake. But Lu Yinran was on the side. Li Yuyang was also embarrassed to switch equipment. The second gear is on. The body begins to change. Li Yuyang's movement speed increased again. However, the benefits of Jodia have become more and more intense. What an interesting bug. Your kid knows a lot. The magic book appears. Black flames rose into the sky. Li Yuyang was about to dodge. The fused body suddenly began to disobey. In the next second, the flames directly engulfed the bodies of the two. Wait until the smoke clears. Where is there still the figure of the old bird? This is the effect of the cloak of invisibility. Jodia had seen it before, so he immediately retreated to the rear. However, it was too late. Just listen to the pop. The blade stabbed directly into Jodia's waist. This arrow is to get revenge on you for stealing from me. Plants wriggle on the ground. Kim Jin-so's attack interrupted Li's offensive rhythm. See this scene? Jodia, the kid, turned around and ran. It's just a blink of an eye. The two of them entered the 6th floor one after the other. The floor masters are gone. The fusion of the two has also ended. At the moment, they have two options. Continue chasing to the 6-story sand suspension bridge. You may stay on the 5th floor. Here's the guy's lair. Maybe you've got something good to hide. And Li Yuyang remembers it very clearly. Just a few years later, Jodia will completely occupy the killing tower. From the 1st floor to the 7th floor. It's all Jodia's territory. And obviously, because of the appearance of Li Yuyang, the results have long since changed. That guy didn't even dare to ask for the base camp. Not to mention the entire killing tower. Be a thief in the game. It is neither illegal nor criminal. Of course, the loss of Yangshuo is another story. Look at Jodia, who has escaped to the 6th floor. Li Yuyang was faced with two choices. Keep chasing, or take a look at Jodia's home base. Staring at the Golden Hall, Li Yuyang naturally has to follow his own heart. The golden statue is added to the inventory. Gold decorations are added to the inventory. Golden tiles are included in the inventory. Everywhere Li Yuyang goes, there is really no grass. If the wall can be snapped down, Li Yuyang wanted to pack the whole room and take it away. The other side, Jodia led the Golden Needle show to the entrance to the 6th floor. As a 5th layer master, Jodia hadn't really been to the 6th floor. He made the 5th floor his home, pushed the door open and enter a skeleton monster. Pounced on it. This floor is decorated in the style of a cemetery. Eerie environment. So Jodia couldn't help but grin. I didn't expect our upstairs neighbor to have such a unique taste. However, the next second, a huge skeleton stood up directly. Name, Leaf Fruit Reincarnation Level, S rank. This is a top-of-the-line skeleton. Lich trait. The dark, undead minion habitat is on the 6-story killing tower. This guy turned out to be indigenous. The corners of Jodia's mouth twitched slightly. He confidently pulled out his flute. With the melodious sound of the flute spreading, the entire 6th floor was boiling. For Jodia, except for bosses that are immune to control. The other monsters are just little quacks. Of course, this isn't the case of a third party. After all, Jodia couldn't give the order to commit suicide either. The portal on the 6th floor began to flicker. Li Yuyang, who was searching for property on the 5th floor, suddenly felt a chill on his back. The moment of seeing humanity. The lich pounced with its jaws wide open. Move your feet back quickly. Li Yuyang put away the last prop. It is worthy of being Jodia's home base. This guy is no weaker than he is at the speed at which he accumulates wealth. If all those gold items are converted into gold coins, at the very least, there must be millions, at an exchange rate of 1 to 10. Li Yuyang earned 100,000 yuan on this trip. So even if you see a terrible lich, Li Yuyang still maintained his smiling face. Lich-type monsters. Li Yuyang didn't fight much. I don't know if this guy is nameless. The woman is amazing. Out of the sheath, according to Li Yuyang's usual practice. Naturally, it has to be eliminated. But this time he had help. Lu Yanran also silently took out the big axe. Suddenly, the lich seemed to notice something unusual. He locked his eyes on Lu Yanran. Lu Yanran was once possessed by the nameless queen. Could this guy be able to discern enemies based on taste? Once upon a time, the higher the level of the monster, the higher the IQ of the AI. Therefore, the actual combat ability of S-level monsters is no worse than that of some high-end players. Crackling lightning swam across the ground. Under such a fierce attack, the two of them could only keep retreating. But the coverage of this horror, even if they hide in the corner of the room, there is still no way to completely avoid the bombardment of thunder and lightning. Right now, Li Yuyang suddenly took out a black iron rod. He placed it on top of a statue. Just like this, a simple version of the lightning rod was made. See more and learn more. There's so much you don't understand. Learn to physically transform copies well, and you are not afraid. Make a lightning rod out of an iron rod. I can think of this way of dodging lightning. Li Yuyang can do it. The space in the room is too small. If you let the thunder and lightning strike, with Li Yuyang's small body, he probably won't even hold out for 2.5 minutes. When the monster's level reaches S level or higher, you can't use conventional methods to be rigid. At least for lone wolves. If you don't live, you really can't live. Lift your feet to move on the wall. Li Yuyang rushed towards the lich. Cooperate with me. Let's get rid of him together. Meanwhile, Jodia, the 6th floor of the murder tower, smiled and pulled out the death note. Since they have been chased home, naturally, you have to add some horses to the guests. Call of the Dead. Activating the 6th floor was originally a graveyard environment. How many skeletons are hidden in this underground? No one can tell. As the magic continues to be infused, more and more kings are coming to the fore. They followed Jodia's instructions. Rush towards the 5th floor. Class B Ancient Skeleton Trait Dark Rock. The undead veteran is 2 meters tall. A B-class monster is naturally nothing to be afraid of. But when the number reaches 1,000, that would be really terrifying. When Li Yuyang saw this scene, his scalp was going to explode. Where the hell did that guy get so many corpses? Both Skeletrons and Ancient Skeletons are B-ranked, although it is also a B grade. However, the strength of the Ancient Skeleton has reached the elite level. Such a dense quantity. Can you only use the means of the King of Horses? But looked at Lu Yanran beside him. Li Yuyang still hesitated. He didn't want to reveal his identity too soon, at least until everything is stable. Li Yuyang didn't want to fall out with Lu Yanran. Don't forget that his younger brother and sister are in their own club. Don't look at the monk's face. Look at the face of the Buddha. Li Yuyang also has to let Lu Yanran be a Mongolian for the rest of his life. As the saying goes, disasters don't go alone. With the undead spirit activated, not only the ancient skeletons that appeared on the 6th floor, even the ground on the 5th floor began to crumble. 3 special guys slowly got up. They used to be the elite of the gamers. It was Jodia who had killed one of the 1,300 people. By special means, Jodia retains their intelligence and attributes. I have to say, Even Li Yuyang has to admire the strength of the murderer, so to speak. In his base camp, there are really few people who can beat him. So after seeing all this, Li Yuyang directly activated his lubrication function. Catch the thief and capture the king first. Just keep the undead around Jodia under control. They lost their original combat power. Let Lu Yinran defend on the spot. Li Yuyang came to the 6th layer as fast as he could, but he was still a step too late. The highest 7-story murder tower is located. The 7th floor can only be entered if you get the key of the city lord. Obviously, for Jodia, who lives in Gray City, the city lord has long been pacified by him. If you insert the keyhole, but with a click. Jodia left the 6th floor with Kim Jin-so. At this moment, the world is quiet. Endless undead and narrow passages. A good hand played by Jodia. Even the reborn Li Yuyang. There is only information on the 6th layer. In his previous life, he had indeed served as the lord and president of the castle. But going back to the city is a place of lawlessness. The lord of the city here is even more inaccessible. So from this moment on, Li Yuyang has already lost his most important support. That's information from a past life. With the key inserted into the 7th floor of the murder tower. It was also opened by Jodia. A roar of rage came to my ears. The entire killing tower was shaking violently. Jodia hurriedly retreated with the golden needle show. This kid has never entered the 7th layer either. I didn't expect such a terrifying monster to be hidden here. Belpager, level S plus a monster that combines plants and demons. This thing is too big. The strength is not weaker than the previous Oz. An ominous aura enveloped the entire killing tower. Even Li Yuyang, who was on the lower floor, felt a chill. I don't do any strategy. There are not even special props. Be prepared to go to the strategy in this situation. What is the difference between the boss of S plus a few and sending it to death? The reason why Li Yuyang is willing to take Lu Yinran to the next copy. His purpose is actually quite simple. It's to kill the S-rank boss on the 6th floor. Kill Jodia. But the situation had exceeded his expectations. Li Yuyang already had a plan to retreat. Knowing that there are tigers in the mountains, they still have to send rations. What's the difference between this and a sand sculpture? But Li Yuyang still underestimated the boss of the S level. Ever since this guy appeared, the 6th layer has been completely covered. Its massive body is still moving. It's only a matter of time before you get to the 5th floor. And Jody is a real dog. He deliberately made the boss addicted to it. The effect of the flute is indeed strong. The control effect of the flute cannot be said to be none. I can only say that there is no such thing as nothing. Thousands of skeleton troops also blocked up from below. There are skeletons underneath. There is a boss on it. Li Yuyang. Yinran was directly surrounded in the center. Dark hellfire from below. Endless plant tentacles go from top to bottom. The duo of Jodia and the duo of Li Yuyang. It is inevitable that they will meet in the central government. These 4 great injustices. It has completely become a turtle in an urn. There are only 2 options at the moment. Kill Jodia, then go it alone or join forces. Let's solve the dilemma in front of us first. Look up at Jodia. The corners of Li Yuyang's mouth lifted slightly. Immediately, the 2 of them had a heart. At the same time, he rushed towards the boss. As for the Golden Needle show, River Yinran is responsible for solving the mini-bosses below. If you remember correctly, Belpager has a damage-sharing trait. It's like paying in installments. Injuries that hit him will be spread flat onto his plant tentacles. So even if you hang the blood loss effect of the blade, the boss is also the same as not losing blood. The flute sounded again. Jodia regains control of the Skeletron. Thousands of undead monsters swarmed towards Belpagel. But those are only berated little quacks. And how to fight against the boss of S plus a few times. Just a moment. The little skeletons were dead and wounded. Jodia's eyes were red. He glanced at Li Yuyang. The meaning is self-explanatory. You're going to output it. However, Li Yuyang is like a loach. It's not just a good output. The fifth floor is Jodia's territory. Although all the good things were taken out by Li Yuyang. But the family is here. I can't escape if I want to. Jodia gritted her teeth in anger. But look at Belpeger. He still took out the good things he had prepared. Mucus jelly grade. Red flame, orb rank S. Take Li Yuyang's urine. How could he really cooperate with Jodia? The moment the slippery trait is activated, he has become the most fishy output in the audience. As a last resort, Jodia pulled out her own power-up at the bottom of the box. Half of the jewel that was stolen in Asia. This thing contains flames from hell. Jodia seemed to be insane, holding mucus in one hand, holding a jewel in one hand. See this scene? The corners of Li Yuyang's mouth could no longer be suppressed. Good boy Zhou Yu, is pharmacist really capable? Belpegaluri and magic defense are indeed high. He's a monster with dual attributes of plants and demons. However, this guy's shortcomings are also obvious. That is, the attack power is low. Of course, this D is also compared to other S-level bosses. Meanwhile, plants begin to climb on the ground. Lu Yinran's big slash slammed into the Lich's body. This 6-layer booze also has an S level, although it is not the top in the S class. But the level of Jin Jinxiu and Lu Yinran is only one line. Can't be compared with the perverted level of Li Yuyang and Jodia. So there's still a lot of pressure on them. A sigh sounded on Li Yuyang's body. The effect of the lubricating oil. Let it constantly shuttle through the rhizomes of the plant. The entire 6th and 7th floors are turned into forest terrain, and with plants as cover. Li Yuyang can naturally paddle better. If you remember correctly, about 3 years later, the 7th floor will be opened. Jodia, a madman, can do anything. Or maybe that kid broke in. Li Yuyang naturally didn't want to wipe Jodia's ass. Of course, if he can really defeat the crippled boss. Li Yuyang naturally didn't mind coming out to help him. The speed is still slowly increasing. Li Yuyang used his agility to shuttle through the depths of the forest. However, in the next second, his body suddenly stopped moving. Because behind him, a dark figure was watching him. This is the essence of Belpeger. But I don't know why. Why is this guy staring at himself? Damn, Jodia. Why don't you use that prop? Giant creatures are slowly devouring the skeleton's corpse. Belpeger doesn't just have the damage-sharing trait. It also has devouring properties. All living things and plants can be its nourishment. So, Li Yuyang really didn't want to be unprepared. Make enemies of such monsters. Look at the boss close at hand. Li Yuyang seemed to have lost the ability to escape. He stared blankly at the boss and stopped. Meanwhile, there was endless darkness in the Lich's eyes. Lu Yinran, who was the closest, was directly surrounded by darkness. This displaceable dark mist is one of the Lich's ways of attacking. It can cause enemies to fall into illusions. Vaguely, the memory goes back to when I was in elementary school. It was a hot summer. He was standing by the river with his brother, and a man is bound. Soak your hands and feet in the river. This is the day my father died. At that time, there were many people around to talk about music. Quarrels. The sound of the siren appeared in Lu Yinran's ears again. The picture is fantastical again. Another rainy night. A luxury car stopped in front of the 3 siblings. The man who got out of the car was none other than Ma Dongsheng. The old thing said softly, "I will be your father from now on." 3 helpless children naturally have no choice. They all got into the car. This is where the nightmare begins. The giant axe is under the wheel. The luxury car was directly split in half. Lu Yinran tried to destroy the illusion. Poof! Endless plants pounced. The Lich is completely pierced directly by the plant. Lu Yinran also took the opportunity to retreat. He was out of the black fog, though, but the hand holding the axe was still shaking. An S-class boss that can create illusions, plus an S-plus boss that can share the damage. How powerful it must be to face such a monster at the same time. Li Yuyang's childhood was obviously unhappy. Otherwise, he wouldn't have specialized in online dating to cheat money. I will not lend all usury with my brother. But it all started because of that man. That guy called Ma Dongsheng. So if you have the chance, Li Yuyang will definitely take revenge without hesitation. The big axe cleaved again. Li Yuyang's face was expressionless. He's going to destroy this monster. It's like destroying your former self. If there is no King Ma Dong, he may continue to fall, become Ma Dongsheng's money-making machine. So for the sake of King Ma Dong, Li Yuyang will not give up easily. Meanwhile, huge flames rang out in the forest. The earthquake is at full capacity. Li Yuyang was in the way. Li Yuyang decisively switched the equipment of King Ma, a plant-based boss of the S+ level. Perhaps only the flame is his true nemesis. That's why Li Yuyang will always look for opportunities to paddle, because he knew that Jodia had a flame orb. However, the guy was more witty than expected. I don't want to do it at all. Li Yuyang's gun. The corners of his mouth lifted slightly. Look at the soles of your feet, not far away. Li Yuyang already has his own plan. It's not up to you to say it's not a gun. Vortex. A powerful suction force emanates from the palm of the hand. Just a moment. The main body of the boss was uprooted. Remember to charge up your left hand. Then aim in a good direction. Just listen to the bang. A mass was knocked straight into the air. The punch was extremely precise in force and angle. This is also thanks to the field that has been trained in the Battle Royale mode. Jodia was still watching the show. The boss fell from the sky. It smashed directly into his body. The slime sticks directly to the boss. Then came the half of the orb of flame. So close. Jodia was quick to move. There are 3 seconds left in the countdown. Jodia ran away in a frenzy. As for Li Yuyang, he had already run away. He knew the damage of the flame beads very well. As a one-time S-class item, if you could put together a complete bead, just pair it with slime. It is completely possible to kill an S-level boss with similar attributes in seconds. For example, Belpagal on the 7th floor. Maybe that's why Jodia went to the Asian Cup to make trouble. At first, it seemed that 12 S-rank bosses were summoned. In fact, there are only 2 of his real goals. I have to say, Jodia's abacus is really good. Li Yuyang thought about the timing of his shot while escaping, until a loud bang sounded behind him. The power of the majestic flames filled the room. The 6th and 7th floors are covered in flames. Everything around them was reduced to nothing under the flames. The slime of the slime is like gasoline, can greatly increase the damage of the flame scorch. This is not only understood by Li Yuyang. Jodia is also clear. However, staring at the boss's health bar, Li Yuyang sighed helplessly. Half a orb is still not enough. And Belpagel as one of the 7 demons. There are 3 of his attack patterns. It is also recognized as one of the most difficult bosses to fight. Health bar reduced to less than 30%. Belpagel summons a strange tree, and its roots seem to pierce the dimensional wall. Endless demonic attributes. The monster emerged from the crack. Pair it with damage sharing. These little quacks can give the boss a second life. An S-rank flame orb. It was able to blow up the boss of the S+ level into serious injuries. This is the natural effect of firewood. However, Jodia was careless. He miscalculated the effects of the flame beads and slime. The boss goes directly to the 3rd phase. Endless mobs are reborn. It's all his little blood packet. Mucus jelly. Full name is slime jelly. This thing can increase the effect of fire explosion damage by a factor of 10. This is also the key to the fact that the flame pig is able to achieve this effect. But half is half a second. What else is there to say? Then it's Lao Tzu's turn. The corners of Li Yuyang's mouth lifted slightly. He took out the same flame orb. This is what you get from killing Jodia. At this moment, Li Yuyang is the god in charge of the flames. As long as he wants, you can solve the boss of S plus a few in no time. However, the next second, the huge trunk made a piercing click. In the next second, giant monsters ran out. S-Class Dark Knight ranked Dark Undead. And that's not the end of it. It's just a blink of an eye. A couple of more S-Class guys came out. Among them are the Dragon Knight and Mamuan's right-hand man. These monsters are all bosses that Li Yuyang or Jodia have killed. Belpager's inherent abilities. Memory copying. It is a dual attribute monster of plants and darkness. Belpager's strength really shouldn't be underestimated. But these summon monsters, it doesn't have real S-Class strength. They are pirated or copied. Limited time of existence. The combat power is only about 70% of the original. Li Yuyang silently withdrew the flame bead. He was still careless. I should have burned that guy in the first place. But it's too late to say anything. At first, it was to distance itself from the monster. Li Yuyang himself is far away. So even if he wanted to, it may not be able to catch up with the 7S class. Plus an S+. Even if Jodia and Li Yuyang want to join forces now, it is estimated that the chances of winning are also very small. Right now, Lu Yanran and Kim Jinxiu downstairs took the lead in ending the battle and came to the main battlefield. It looks like the number of teammates has increased. But Lu Yanran arrived, also sealed Li Yuyang's Horse King form again. The magic book shines brightly. Jodia's campaign has become even more intense. This guy is simply crazy. A lunatic? At this moment, he even wanted to occupy the 7th floor. The Dark Knight's mage-level S-rank one-handed weapon. Attack damage is increased by 900. The indestructible trait is slashed at delay. This is Jodia's new weapon. It's also his secret weapon against the boss. But see this scene? Li Yuyang suddenly came to Lu Yanran. Hurry up and run away from time, until the summons vanished. It's not like a madman. Li Yuyang remained absolutely calm. He pulled Lu Yanran out of the attack range as soon as possible. But they didn't wait for them to come to the 5th floor. Huge tentacles have blocked the portal. This thing is the octopus monster encountered in the northern continent. He didn't have enough charcoal grilling once. Do you still want to eat the iron plate? Made Li Yuyang miss the best time to escape. Now it's not just about the real show of Dia Alloy. Even Li Yuyang and Lu Yanran can only be tough head-on. Right now, one after another 7 brother injuries enveloped Li Yuyang's body. This is the temporary execution skill that comes with the magic book. It turned out that Jodia switched weapons to deal with Li Yuyang. The thud kept ringing out. Li Yuyang did his best. Still couldn't completely block the chaotic sword light. The health bar is slowly reducing the damage of the cut. Inflicts bleed. However, this percentage of damage is the most useless for Li Yuyang, because his health bar was originally pitifully short. There is an octopus monster overhead. There's Jodia in front of you. There is also Lu Yanran behind him. Protection is needed. Li Yuyang's mind is constantly searching for a way to get out of trouble. The second heart, the flesh of the Dark King. But under the interception of so many monsters, the effect of these things cannot be said to be absent. It can only be said that it is very average. There is no way to make a final decision. The cutting blade slashed through the body again. Li Yuyang hurriedly held his breath. He grabbed Lu Yanran. At the moment when the two people fit together, the lubricating effect covers the whole body. The sound of shame kept ringing around him. Zero friction. Whether it's an attack by an octopus mom or Jodia's 7th brother, there was no way to cause substantial harm to the two. Poof! Li Yuyang took the opportunity to sprinkle lubricating oil on the ground. The nearest Jodia was directly slipped. Take advantage of this opportunity. Li Yuyang bit the corner of his mouth. A mouthful of old blood spurted out directly. His bloodstains have a poison effect. Just leave it on the enemy. immediately inflicts a bleeding effect. Now both of them are starting to bleed constantly. Meanwhile, Kim Jin-so uses his plant magic. Temporarily controlled the bushes summoned by the boss. In this terrain, Kim Jin-so actually has the strength to temporarily resist 6S ranks. No wonder Jodia wanted to attack Li Yuyang first. He's going to tell you. After a short fight, Li Yuyang already has a preliminary understanding of Jodia's strength. Li Yuyang is now level 91. The current Jodia may have reached level 99. 2 years after the previous life, Jodia can only reach this level. So because of Li Yuyang's interference, everything around has changed. Now even if the second gear is turned on, it's also hard to solve. Drawbridge Jia unless her identity is revealed. Use the Horse King's outfit. Because of the Asian Cup, Li Yuyang's recent resources have been used to improve the Horse King suit. So the old bird's equipment is really not good to deal with Jodia. According to Li Yuyang's observations, Jodia has at least a dozen rare traits. High-speed regeneration, reflected damage, and more. I really don't know where this guy came from. Whether the closed beta player exists or not. At this moment, Li Yuyang's own was a little confused. Why is the murderer in the previous life so strong? Even the reborn self is about to catch up. Bite the bullet. Li Yuyang rushed out directly. Only breath-holding can trigger the lubrication effect. So the duration is really limited. Since you don't want the fourth child to have a good time, then everyone should stop playing. The last resort is a tenfold increase in attributes. This is an evolved version of the Octagon King. It is also Li Yuyang's most powerful attack method so far. 10x increase in all stats. This is Li Yuyang's most powerful promotion since the opening of the second gear. However, this special state only lasts for 30 seconds. Also, it is not possible to resurrect with a second heart while the state lasts. So Li Yuyang is desperate this time. 10 times the ascension of the whole genus means double agility and attack. Bite the bullet. Li Yuyang rushed forward with the blade. Finished Jodia first, and then it was collected with a flame pig. S+ grade Belpagel to receive it. Simply the perfect plan. The blades collide in midair. A black breath wrapped around Li Yuyang's body like a snake. This is one of Jodia's abilities. Obviously, this kid is going to distance himself. Jodia's strongest abilities are summoning and dark magic. As a magician of the summoning stream, melee ability is naturally very low. So Li Yuyang slammed his feet hard. It was just an instant that he came to Jodia. Right now, giant axes fall from the sky. Lu Yinran directly blocked Jodia's retreat. The great axe swept through the sharp blades. In an instant, it was in front of Jodia. The stairwell was almost killed. Of course, Lu Yinran wants to avenge this revenge. So deal with this murderer. Lu Yinran showed no mercy at all. However, Li Yuyang, who was in the rear, suddenly stopped. Because he received a system prompt. Your teammate Lu Yinran has gained control of the 6th floor. It turned out to be in the previous battle. Lu Yinran not only grabbed the head of the 6th layer boss. It is still on the 6th floor. Long enough. This already meets the conditions for the capture of the tower. Keep an eye on your surroundings. The corners of Li Yuyang's mouth lifted slightly. As everyone knows, the owner of the tower has the authority to decorate. So Li Yuyang has a new idea. A method with minimal loss. Pull out the scroll that you have prepared long ago. Li Yuyang came to Lu Yinran as fast as he could. Listen to me. Build according to this map. Hear this. Lu Yinran just paused for a moment. The system panel opens. The thud is still ringing. Li Yuyang continued to pursue Jodia. Kim Jin-so uses plants to restrain other bosses. As for Lu Yinran, she became the busiest person in the audience. A building of Dong Gaoqiang rose rapidly. Until 10 minutes later, everyone was separated by Gaoqiang, and Li Yuyang also dodged. The corners were used to widen the distance. Just a moment. Jodia was imprisoned within the walls. The walls are made of special materials. It was Liu Yinran who spent the highest price. Where to buy it from the system? Of course, this money was obtained from the previous demolition. Moreover, the map Li Yuyang gave him was an extremely complex labyrinth. Just get stuck in it. Don't talk about Jodia. Even Li Yuyang couldn't come out easily. I heard a loud bang. An explosion sounded from within the high wall, not far away. However, the violent explosion only blew a mark on the wall. The sturdiness of the walls can be imagined. Done with it all. Li Yuyang directly turned on the live broadcast function. He smiled at the camera. This is the murder tower. 6th floor. Hurry up and see, everyone. There's the final boss of the killing tower. S plus Belpager. Of course, Jodia, the special guest of this issue, is also ready. With Li Yuyang's introduction with a smile. The number of people in the live broadcast room is increasing. Siege and kill the S plus G boss. And the notorious under the soles of the feet. Such a thing is very rare in the entire Most High God. As for the prototype of the labyrinth, it is an A-level prop prepared by Li Yuyang in advance. A topographic map of the maze from Angel Island. Originally, this thing didn't make much use. Who would have thought that it would be reproduced by Liu Yinran? 30 minutes. Li Yuyang explained while taking everyone to visit the labyrinth. As for Belpager and Jodia among them, can only be incompetent in their own area. Players have to get out of the fight if they want to go offline. But Li Yuyang is cheap. He attacks Jodia once in a while. So no matter how angry the killer is, there is no way to take Li Yuyang. The exit of the labyrinth is about 1 kilometer from Jodia. Just reach the exit. You can teleport to the 5th floor. Of course, there is Li Yuyang's interference. This kind of thing will never happen. Just when Li Yuyang still wanted to play a little more, Liu Yinran couldn't bear it anymore. He wanted to use the terrain to slaughter Jodia himself. Great axes fell from the sky. The moment it struck Jodia again, Liu Yinran left directly. It's the corner again. It's gone. Jodia without a map. There is no direction to chase at all. The other side. An S-rank boss summoned by Belpager. The duration is finally over. It's time to end the fight. But just when Li Yuyang was about to make a move, groups of law enforcement teams came to the labyrinth on the 6th floor. They ignore the terrain. Appears directly in front of Jodia. Player Jodia interfered with the tournament schedule several times. I formally issue an expulsion order to you. As the sword of the enforcer shines, Jodia's body began to melt inch by inch. This is a privilege that belongs to the manager. This time his death was not as simple as just one death. If you don't do it, your account will be gone. Still, Jodia kept a smile on her face. As a guy who hacked it with a dedicated server, this kid didn't take GM seriously at all. In Liu Yinran's shocked gaze, the enforcers slaughtered Jodia's alloy Jinxiu. This is also thanks to Li Yuyang who turned on the live broadcast. The enforcers were able to find Jodia so accurately. Speaking of which, this wave is a loss. If Jodia dies at their hands, maybe some good stuff will break out. Ended his mission. The enforcers didn't bring much. They left the killing tower at the first opportunity. Look at Belpager, who has recovered to full health. Li Yuyang's face also showed a trace of helplessness. This thing is also S+. It's the same as Oz at the beginning, although he has mastered the general flame beads. But Li Yuyang still didn't have the certainty of killing him. I recall what I saw during a tour of a game company. Li Yuyang directly gave up his plan to kill the boss. Undo the maze. Get Belpager back where he needs to be. This is Li Yuyang's decision. Jodia is dead. The 5th layer has also become an ownerless place. What's more, Liu Yinran inexplicably became the layer master of the 6th layer. This was a bonus. What's more, he also harvested so many gold coins. After dealing with Belpager, the two left the killing tower together. They have run out of life potions. The durability of the equipment is not high. So Liu Yinran decided to part ways. Anyway, they have also become neighbors. The days to come will be long. Right now, bands of soldiers rushed out. They are the guards of the Gray City. It is also a force subordinate to the lord of the castle. See this scene. Li Yuyang's eyes narrowed. He raised the blade of love in his hand again. If you remember correctly, Jodia and the city lord should be inextricably linked. And monsters are different. NPCs are special in commanding heights. Especially the guard, which has a law enforcement character. They are usually terrifyingly strong. The average player simply can't fight against it. What's more, the two of them are not in very good shape. At swords points, Jian Chengzhu walked out slowly. I can't believe that you will be the last one alive. Obviously, Jodia's relationship with the lord of the city is not as iron as Li Yuyang imagined. Seeing that some of them were playing, Li Yuyang gradually relaxed. But the city lord suddenly locked his eyes on Lu Yanran. You are the tower master on the 6th floor. Please come with me. There's something to talk to you about. After saying that, the city lord didn't give them a second choice at all. Dozens of guards rushed straight over. The Gray City Lord's mansion heard that he wanted to be the deputy city lord of the Gray City. Lu Yanran still couldn't believe her ears. As for Li Yuyang on the side, he seemed much calmer. In this city of chaos, the rules are pitiful. However, he can become the owner of the killing tower. Naturally, they will also be respected. Jodia was able to get the key. It is likely that it is also because he is the relationship of the 5th layer master. Therefore, it is normal for Li Yuyang to be able to get the title of Deputy City Lord. The Deputy Lord needs to help the Lord manage the city, collect taxes, and much more. Can you really do it yourself? But he didn't agree. The two of them will be put in prison. Lu Yanran didn't have a choice. Leave the City Lord's mansion alone. Li Yuyang shook his head helplessly. In his previous life, he also served as a City Lord. And it's still the number one. He was well aware of the benefits of being a City Lord. Lu Yanran is already very good to be able to mix with a Deputy City Lord. Open the system panel. Li Yuyang also already has the title of the 5th layer master of the Killing Tower. Keep an eye on the orb of fire in your inventory. This time, he didn't slaughter the boss of the S-Rush according to the plot. The key reason for this is because of Oz. He remembers it well. Oz has been killed. But in the game company, he could clearly see that the ball representing Oz was still flickering. Therefore, Li Yuyang is unwilling to offend the S+ of the Demon Clan again. Put away the props. Li Yuyang, but left with a smile and went back to the city. I have to say that the ancestral grave of the enemy was destroyed. It just feels good. Meanwhile, in a luxuriously furnished meeting room, Ma Dongxing angrily smashed the teacup. He also got the news that the Horse King team had successfully qualified. In order to be able to monopolize the entire game warehouse market, Ma Dongxing has made many sacrifices in exchange for so many privileges. Even so, the team he supported was still eliminated by the King of Horses. Therefore, Ma Dongxing's hatred for King Ma has gone beyond ordinary business wars. Not to mention the 3 wolf cubs he raised with his own hands. They all ran to smash the Horse King. This is something that Ma Dongxing can't accept. Do everything you can to make the King of Horses team ugly in the Asian Cup. I'm going to ruin them. Since then, I have not dared to set foot in the esports circle again. In addition, Ma Dongxing has never given up on the Stove God plan. Since Ma Dong can't do it at night, let's do it differently. As long as you can defeat King Ma Dong, I'm willing to pay a sky-high signing fee. Right now, the little quack next to him said a name. I heard that it was called the Old Bird. He once fought openly with King Ma Dong. His strength doesn't seem to be worse than that of King Ma Dong. Meanwhile, Li Yuyang, who went offline, received an email. This is an invitation from the Red Moon Group. After seeing the content of the message, the corners of Li Yuyang's mouth couldn't be suppressed at all. Hire yourself to beat yourself. Ma Dongxing, this kid is really on the road. Immediately, Li Yuyang quickly typed a few lines. Please, how much are you going to spend to hire me?